blam.
Just like that, we're live?
Mmm.
What?
Fuck.
Yeah,
Ba-blam,
I
ba-blam.
know.
I
It's
said
so
ba-blam, ba-blam.
seamless.
No, I
So
said no, but
seamless.
blam blah fuck.
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah.
said
Yeah, yeah.
blam blam, and then we actually
Oh,
just went live.
right.
Yeah.
Because you're so unused to that happening smoothly.
It's used to blam, but hold on. Wait, hold on. Don't go anywhere.
Everyone's fucking calling me out, guys. I won't be here for the rest of today. Anyway.
Welcome everybody to Chocolatiers. My name is D. I'm the Dungeon Master for our lovely game. Joining us are our intrepid heroes. Say hi, intrepid heroes.
Hi.
I don't know if I consider us heroes.
Aery does.
Right now. Definitely not right
Well,
now.
then what do you consider yourselves? If not heroes? Adventurers, at the very least?
Exhausted. Specifically for Oriana. I'm not sure about the rest of it.
These are all of our exhausted, exactly. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. This is our live play show. We're gonna roll dice and do the things and talk about characters and all of that. Why don't we go ahead and do some player introductions before we hop into game? Natalie, why don't you kick us off real quick?
Hello, hello, hello. I am Burrows, who plays Natalie. I was about to not say my name. Don't know whose name it was, but it jumped into my brain. I'm like, that's my name. No, it's not. I'm Burrows. I play Natalie. Half-orc barbarian. Very strong, very silly. Apparently a little bit more chaotic than originally. So we've had some character development. We love that for us. And hopefully
Lost her
we'll
mind in the time loop.
Who didn't, honestly? We will then work on bringing... I had a sentence. My God, my brain is not here.
We'll come back to you. We don't hurt yourself.
No, I will hurt myself all I like. I play Natalie. She's cool. She's chaotic. She's gonna fight some stuff today, and she also has a cool knife that someone else wants. And there's no fucking way anyone's getting it.
No fucking way.
So yeah, no fucking way. No fucking way, eh?
No walking say, eh? Exactly. Oriana.
Hello, I am Maleficent. I play Oriana. I am a streamer and a cosplayer. Oriana is a war cleric and a bitch, but she did just adopt a duck. So
Battle duck.
I was like, maybe like having a child will soften her, but no, it's a battle duck. The duck has a knife already, so probably not. But we're very excited for the battle duck.
What is that in your hand?
Deal.
A knife. No.
We have the duck emote with the heart. I'm gonna start working on a duck emote with a knife.
Yeah.
Someone remind me after stream. I can't do it while we're playing.
More duck emotes.
More duck. It's gonna be a duck channel.
Yeah, forget Chocolatiers. This is the Duckatiers.
The Chocolatiers.
Mighty Ducks. Eminence.
DuckTales.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I play Eminence. She is a tiefling warlock, and I think everyone else got something cool out of this, like time loop, like cool knives and ducks with knives. Eminence may have just lost a boyfriend, but other than that, she's doing great. Yeah, that's her.
Everything's fine. This is fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. Lovely. Where we last left our exhausted heroes, they had just emerged from a time loop. Something was wrong with a time loop built around a lich's phylactery next to what appeared to be some sort of ancient Leviathan dragon underneath a natural small village called the Pot, a hot springs village. A vacation destination, but for the party, it was no vacation, as they had to repeat over and over and over inside of this time loop, stopping murders and investigating many, many different things before finally breaking the time loop through some negotiations with a couple of horned extraplanar individuals, little red horns, red tail, bat wings, those folk. Regardless, party made their way out. They rescued all the people. Not too much worse for wear. And upon making their way out of the Tengboche monastery, uh, they went to go cure Duck, one of the inmates at the local, uh, not asylum. I keep forgetting the word. Ridden's Dredge
Sanatorium.
Sanatorium. Yeah. A middle-aged man who, for all intents and purposes, thought he was a duck, but with some very clever magic uses, discovered that he was, in fact, actually a duck who had been polymorphed into a human. So, with some very clever rolls and some divine intervention to her god Tempest, Oriana was able to have Duck reverted back into his duck-like form. However, he was touched by Tempest and now has a thirst and bloodlust for battle and war as a duck. So, with some animal handling and persuasion and a little bit of intimidation, Oriana was able to recruit Duck to the party, at the very least temporarily. And upon exiting Ridden's Dredge with their new battle duck, knife in tow, the party found one of the new visitors to Ridden's Dredge, waiting outside, a Gregory Redstream, a youngish human male, sort of bald face, chin strap beard, bald head, chin strap beard, flanked by two nondescript looking guards, asking for whatever the stone was, the material, the stone. And after a moment of declining, Gregory pulled out what looked to be some sort of compass. And upon activating the compass, the ground began to rumble underneath their feet, and a three-armed creature with a massive maw slowly began to emerge from the ground just in front of Natalie, which is when we rolled for initiative at the end of last session. Natalie, you're up first with a 20 initiative.
Oh, I'm glad you
The
remembered.
three individuals are 60 feet away from you. It's wide open field in front of you, bright sunny day. Behind you, about 20 feet back, is the opening to the cavern that leads to Ridden's Dredge. And just in front of you, 5 feet, half in the ground, half below the ground, is this strange burrowing creature.
Was that 5 feet in front of me? Did you say?
Directly in front of you, just 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to have to leap over a hole. I also don't want to hurt the thing in the ground. The vibe that we got, so just to backtrack a little, only because
Yeah.
just to refresh the battle space there, the creature
Please.
was like basically the equivalent of like a sniffing dog for items or whatever.
It seemed to be, yes.
That was like the vibe that we got, at least.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and make a quick nature check just to refresh?
Sure. Nature is intelligence. That's not good. 5.
Nature, history, whatever. Yeah.
History is also intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as you can remember, this is some sort of burrowing creature that seemed to respond to whatever command Gregory gave it.
Okay.
Even though he gave the command and the creature was clearly not visible underground, somehow it still heard, reacted, and responded.
And Gregory, did you say?
Yeah, he's the individual 60 feet away.
I fully thought that I just dreamed out that name, and I'm like, why am I thinking of this right now? They're 60 feet away, so I actually think I'm gonna go over there instead. But the hole in front of me, how big is it?
Yeah. Medium size, 5 by 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over there, but if I need to, I'm happy to go over. Like, I want to kind of get there as quickly as I can. So if I need to jump over it, that's okay. If not, I would like to use my 40-foot movement as much as I can to get closer to Gregory.
Yes, so you can absolutely do that. As you do, however, the creature will get an attack of opportunity
Yeah, that's fine.
as you move past it. Yeah, okay.
We've got Oriana,
That
it's
is
fine.
13 to hit.
I think I hit 13 doesn't hit. It doesn't hit. I have 14 armor class.
Doesn't hit. Yeah. You leap over it, and again, your athletic leaps. You got hops for days. You just bound over the creature. The claw swipes through the air. One of its 3 arms that seem to be almost like rotating a little bit around its body. Yeah, and you travel 40 feet forward towards Gregory, 20 feet away from him. Anything else? That's just your movement.
Honestly, I think I'd rather save my dash to just move on my next turn. Can I rage for a bonus action and throw a javelin for a action?
Absolutely. At whom?
Gregory. Because there are 2 people there, aren't there?
Yeah, so there's Gregory, and he's got the 2 people like flanking him.
Oh, sorry. So there's 3 people there. But yeah, I want to go after Gregory. So yeah, because he's the one who's casting the orders. Got to kill the main dude, and then get rid of the Lucas. This is not the time. This is not the time. He's just like slowly putting his paw down. I'm like, dude, I need to roll my dice. You've also got to stick us up your butt, goose. Anyway. Oh, that was nearly terrible. Lucky that rolled at the last minute. So this is a 23 to hit with a javelin.
23 hits, yeah. Give me some damage.
It's not much. It's only a d6. So why the fuck are all my d6 always missing? Sorry, I've got some in here. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna roll it in the thing. I don't want to do that again. That makes it 5 damage. That's 5
Does that make you feel yucky? Clicking the number just made you feel yucky?
No, it was the fact that it rolled a 1. That made me feel yucky. But yes, that is piercing damage as well.
I will say it was pretty awesome that it popped up on my screen though.
Yeah, that is really useful. I mean, I can roll the damage in there if you want and just roll for an attack to hit. If it makes it easier.
The tactile sensation of rolling is
you just gotta get the click clacks, you know?
Yeah. Math rocks.
Yeah.
Did you know that on every standard dice, the 2 opposite sides add up to 21?
I did know, because they do that with all the other dice, don't they? Like
20 and 1, 11 and 10, 17 and 4, 14 and 7.
Because like, isn't a D8
they're all
also a 9?
Oh, I don't know about that, but that's sick.
Because 7 plus 2, 5 plus 4, 1 plus 8.
Yeah.
I think it's 1 plus the dice that it's on.
We're learning today. Yeah.
I fully bullshitted that. I had no idea until I looked at my D8 and I'm like, I wonder if that's right. And then it was correct. Who knows?
Math rocks. Math rocks and math does rock.
I love that you're just lying.
I fully was just like, I wonder if that's true. Oh, it's correct. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I've just said this with complete confidence. Like I know something.
That just means you're smart. It's not a lie. It's just a supposition.
And here I am playing a low intelligence character. I'm wasted.
Yeah, the javelin flies through the air and just like grazes him in the shoulder. He staggers back a step and seems to look surprised at the force that a javelin was thrown from 20 feet away. And he kind of points and just, stop her, and points at you. You see the 2 guards to his side kind of look at each other. They're kind of covered in this chain shirt. They have a shield in their offhands, and they both pull out these small short swords. One of them will rush forward at you, closing the 20 feet to get up close to melee, and the other one takes up position just in front of Gregory. The one that rushes towards you, he takes a short sword and he's going to take a strike.
Okay.
He's very clearly like, ha! and just swings. How's an 8 hit you?
Oh, it just takes a chunk out of my side, you know? Nah, that doesn't hit.
Yeah. Like, I imagine you see this hit coming and you're like, I could dodge it. But that would hurt hurt him so much with how much effort he's putting into it. So you let the hit like graze against you, but like deliberately push the side of the blade so it doesn't even hit you. You're just like
Yeah, just like hitting like
forcing
the
the blade
flat
away.
of the blade, just be like, you
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it, buddy. You got there.
yeah. He like staggers and stops and is like, and then realizes you're probably like a good couple of inches taller than him, just absolutely raging, having chucked this javelin. And you see he kind of like takes a little bit of a step back after his blade completely misses. Yeah, the other guard is in front of Gregory, holding up a shield, looking to block. Emmy, you are up.
My first, I was planning to fire an Eldritch Blast each at the 2 guards.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking, Nat's got this. I'm going to fire both Eldritch Blasts at the guard that is defending Gregory.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and take an attack roll.
That is 27.
Holy shit. Yeah, that
That's
hits.
+8 to that hit DC.
Oh my god.
So that is. Do I attack roll for each blast?
So I'll save you the trouble. The first blast, the guy has his shield up and he's like, don't worry, we got this. And looks over and he's like holding the shield. There's this much of his face showing, and you just clip him right in the head. And he just fully like flips back onto the ground and just like hits the dirt. He does not get up. He is out.
Well, then, if I was aiming both of them at the guy that is standing directly in front of Gregory, I'm guessing the next one is heading for Mr. Gregory.
Yeah.
And that one is a 23 to hit.
23 hits. Let's get damage.
Hell yeah. 6.
6 damage. Yeah, this one, you can see he's got like these mage's robes that are just kind of loose and flowing around him. He sees your attack coming and tries to get out of the way, but again, he is not physically fast enough to leap out of the way, and you manage to clip him in his other shoulder this time. And he kind of staggers as the hit just blasts through. These folk do not look too prepared for the level of pain that y'all are bringing. That said, is there anything else you want to do?
Just to clarify, because I was losing focus earlier, the ground opening up in front of us, is that like currently like opening like a chasm? It's continuing to.
No.
Okay.
It's a creature like a groundhog has burrowed up and just like emerged. Like you watched the earth like kind of bulge and then open up as this creature came up.
Cool. Yeah. I don't need to move or anything at the moment. I'm good.
Yeah. Gregory's kind of gonna stagger after taking the hit, and you see he pulls out the like circular compass once again and says something, looking at you with a panic expression into the compass, and the creature from the ground, the 3 arms that like grabbed at Natalie, kind of stop as the body slowly like rotates through the dirt, and the one like large glowing yellow eye with the vertical black pupil turns and looks at you, and slowly it begins to slither through the ground towards you, closing the distance. So if Natalie was in the middle and it was in front of Natalie, it moves 5-10 feet to get over towards you. And you can see its claws, all 3 of its arms kind of pull back and at once swipe at you. That is a 23 to hit.
I would hang on. Where? Yes, that hits me. What can I do? I haven't been in combat in so very long.
I know, it's been a long. It feels like it's been a year. Literally.
I know I have reactions.
Do you have a hellish hook?
I do have a hellish rebuke.
A ho-hook?
I know.
Hellish
I don't know.
rebuke.
I was like, it's gonna be funnier if I don't say the name, and then I'm like, why? I didn't make any sense.
An Elish Ebi.
Hellish rebuke. Oh, why do I have? Okay. Yes, I just casted that.
Yes, you casted it. Yes.
12 damage.
12 damage. The first claw swipes against you, and just as a reaction, just you let out this great gout of flame, and you can sort of see these black, almost like tendrils going through the flame, considering where you get your powers from. Yeah, the creature kind of flinches underneath the bright white heat for a moment and looks back even angrier with the second attack. That is a nat 20 for the second attack. And a third nat 20 for the third claw. Sorry, a second nat 20. So that is 1 hit and 2 nat 20s. So that is 15 points of. No, what am I doing? Sorry, 7 points of damage for the first one. 8 points of damage for the second one, and 10 points of damage. So 7, 8, and 10 is 25 points of slashing damage. Finally, it's going to use a bite attack because it has 4 attacks in one turn. Natural.
That's
So
not as bad as I thought it would be.
So it swipes at you 3 times. The first claw sort of getting just a light slash at you. Then the hellish rebuke. It seems to get angry in the light of the hellish flame that you cast in its face. However, using that rage, it strikes back to you for 2 more times before finally it goes for a blind bite. Its eyes still kind of closed after the fire, and the bite misses, but the 2 attacks clip you right in the head, right in the old noggin. Yeah. That is its turn, though. Actually, what it is going to do is it is, at the end of its turn, going to dip back down into the earth. You can see sort of the churning soil and rock underneath it just slowly be displaced. It doesn't go completely under, but you can see that it's like just this much of its hands are showing outside of like the loose dirt. So it's not like disengaging completely, it's still staying right there, but it does kind of like hide itself in the dirt. Up next is Gregory. Gregory's kind of panicked at this whole situation. You see he holds his hand out, and what looks to be frost and icicles begin to form in his hand as he slowly unleashes this cone blast of cold out in front of you. I'm going to need all 3 of you, all creatures within 60 feet, to make a Constitution saving throw, including the guard.
Amber.
I don't even think my good constitution can save me from a natural 3. So
Constitution. What'd you get?
that's a 9.
Yeah, 9's a fail.
16 for Emmy.
16 is a pass, so that's half damage.
18.
18 is a pass, so that's half damage. The guard. Ooh, the guard fails. So that is.
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
He's having a good time. Man, I had a thought just a second ago. I know it's gone.
Oh, I also completely forgot to add my rage bonus before. I forgot it doesn't automatically do that. Sorry, that was
38 points of cold damage to the people who failed. those who passed get 19 points of cold damage.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see he does this spell, and it seems to take a lot out of him. The guard in front of you, Natalie, kind of looks up, and he slowly like raises his shield, and suddenly this like cone of snow and ice hits him from behind, and as you like blink and take the hit and take the damage, you kind of pull your arm away. This frost on your forearm sort of speckles off into these like sprinkles in front of you. You now see what looks to be a frozen statue, just face and skin completely blue, like little icicles pointed directly towards you from the force of the snow of this blast. This guard is completely out. Yeah, so that's them. Oriana, you are up.
See, I did have a plan, and my
Did?
plan was that I was going to try and cast Hold Monster on the creature, but I feel like I should probably help with the taking out of Gregory first. Is there somewhere I can place myself? Can I like pop up next to Natalie so that I don't set her on fire with a burning
Yeah.
hand?
So Gregory is 60 feet away from you, just open field.
Yeah.
40 feet in front of you is Natalie. And then 45 feet away from you is a frozen statue. You're trying to Burning Hands?
Yeah,
Is that a
but it
cone?
might not be far enough with how far I can run and then cast.
I get an
Trying to
extra
find it on
10
my-
feet for barbarian shit, so you might only have 30
Yeah.
feet.
Just trying to find it. You know what? I'm giving up on D&D Beyond. I'm going to try and find it on my normal character sheet. I do know where that is most of the time.
Okay,
Burning Hands.
I believe.
Has a
Okay.
15-foot range in a cone.
Yeah, I was hoping it was 30, so I probably can't get close enough for that.
I mean, you could still use it. It just probably won't hit Gregory.
Well, what's the point of using it if I can't hit Gregory?
I'm just saying, you could use it.
So how far are these little hands poking up out of the dirt from me then?
About 10 feet away, it has 3/4 cover.
But I can see it?
Yes.
Because the
You can
wording of
see
the
it.
spell is choose a creature you can see. So I don't know how much of it I have to be able to see. It doesn't say it has any kind of hiding anything on it.
Yeah. You can see it.
Okay. I am going to cast Hold Monster on that little shit before it
Ooh.
hurts my sister anymore. That's a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. Huh. Good spell, that one.
Mm.
That is not a good roll.
Oh, good, because I thought you said not, and I thought you were in the middle of saying nat 20 again. Which reminds me, I have to add those to this.
That is a 5 total.
Oh, yeah. So they are paralyzed until I drop concentration or they manage to break it a little bit later.
You see the creature, its hands are still like making these weird like grabbing motions, but as you cast the spell, the fingers like lock and just look tight and almost in pain. Yeah. Anything else?
Look, no, because I can't really run that far, and I don't really have any bonus actions. And I got a big donk stick. That's basically it. So that's what I'm going to do for now. I'm gonna wait.
If I had a nickel for every big dong stick, that would be 1 nickel.
How many nickels?
2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's just weird that it's happened twice. Yeah, awesome. Natalie, you're up.
I'm wrestling a fierce creature.
Yeah.
While you wrestle your fierce creature, if I am not next to Eminence, I'm going to move myself up near her in case she gets hit again and needs to be healed next turn.
Sounds like a plan.
But I can't do that right now.
Yeah, you can move at the end of your turn and like move.
Oh no, I can't heal her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Okay, Natalie is going to. The person in front of me is frozen, correct? The
Yes,
guard?
frozen dead, like frozen
right.
statue, like deceased.
Rip. I will pick another dice, and I would like to approach Gregory then, who's 20 feet in front of me. I've got 40 feet, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And I would like to just deciding if I need to do anything before I do it. Let me just double check. I think I just hit them basically, like as in try to hit them. But I will do that recklessly as well.
Okay. Yeah. He's still standing there, like holding his ground a little bit, but you can see he's kind of taking tentative steps backward. Like this is looking not good for me.
So first one is I gotta roll twice, don't I? That's what advantage is. 21 is the first one. And
21's a hit.
Actions, okay, that's the one I want. 21 for the second one, 2 natural 13s. So how nice. I say that like it's a bad thing. And so then my D12 suck. 9 plus 8, 17 plus 6, 23.
23 points of damage. This is just with your axe?
This is, my great axe.
Yeah. You just pull up the axe and Gregory kind of, oh, no, and like holds his hands up as if to block. And you just fully like on the forearms of both arms, just dig back. It like even digs into the clavicle and his arms are temporarily pinned there as you pull the axe back. He is barely standing.
Shouldn't have sent a creature after us and be like, hey, I'm going to steal your stuff. We told you not to. That's all I got for you, bud.
He's like, this is not what I signed up for.
Well, then you shouldn't have tried to fight us. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to say that. I have a bonus action. It's just, I just want to be a cheeky shit.
Yeah. Shit talking.
I will just say something along the lines of, you wanted this path, now you have to deal with it. But yeah, that's all I've got for my turn.
Awesome. And you just stand there, his blood dripping off your axe. Emmy.
Right. That's changed my plans because I'm not wasting a packed magic slot on a guy who's almost dead. I would like to. I want to ready an action and be ready to cast Blight at the monster if I see it start to move again. Because at the moment, like I can tell that Ori's got it under control. But also, I'm gonna use my turn to shout out to like Natalie, not to kill him yet. Like, wait, just before you kill him, what's going to happen? Does he need to call this thing off? And that's I don't want him dead. If we could tell him like, make this thing stop trying to kill us.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Just double checking. Great. So the creature is paralyzed. You can step away from it if you like, and disengage and put a little distance.
Well, I would like to. I mean, I'll step away, but I still want to be able to see it enough that I can cast Blight on it
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
Ori drops the hold.
Its hands are still sticking up out of the dirt, so you can
Yeah.
still see those.
All right, then as much as I can move away, I will also do that.
Yeah, so the creature is held by hold person. That is that concentration? Yeah, that is. Yeah, so that's its turn. At the end of its turn, it makes a wisdom save. 7. Still held.
Ah, still held.
Yeah. At the next turn, the mage, kind of like cowering and dripping in blood, says some sort of arcane phrase and just vanishes.
Hate that for us.
Love that completely. Are we out of initiative
Are we
at
still
this
in
stage?
initiative?
You are not. Oriana, you are up.
So I'm still hold monstering this burrowing dude.
Mhm.
But the guard's dead. Gregory is
Gone.
presumably gone for the time being. Can I don't really have like can I pull this thing out of the ground? Like I would have to physically pull it out of the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have any like levitation spell. But like if it's got its little hands reaching up, can I try and yank it out? Like
Yeah.
I'm not
Uh,
very strong.
so it is a very large and heavy creature, but you can make an athletics check to try and pull it back up out of the loose dirt that it covered itself in.
I have these new dice that are like fun shapes and
Ooh.
stuff. They're a cleric set, and I got them in purple and black for Oriana on purpose. This is the first time I'm rolling it. I have a
Woohoo.
plus nothing to athletics, so please be nice. I bought you specifically for this character. Please be nice.
So I'll tell you right now, the DC is going to be 18.
Oh well, I got a 14.
It's
Plus
still pretty
nothing.
good though. Like
No,
even though it's not a
Yeah.
success, it's
So
Right.
you go over to it and sort of grab it around by the wrist and hands and give it a pull, and it kind of like moves a little bit. But not only are you pulling the weight of this creature, which is fairly sizable, it's like 6 or 7 feet tall. Um, there's also all of the dirt and soil that it just covered itself in. So it is still like half submerged in the earth. And you give it a pull, and it kind of like wiggles a little bit, but it does not come free. We're just all gonna wiggle in the meanwhile.
I'd just like to, I suppose, like keep an eye out to see if Gregory pops back up in case he's just like here, invisible, but like over there waiting to come back and hasn't run away.
Yeah, make
Um,
a perception check.
okay. I don't know if I should use that dice. I'm gonna use that dice. Let's go.
Okay.
Um,
That would be with disadvantage, actually.
disadvantage. Okay, that one was a 15, and this one is an 18.
So
So the 15 plus 3.
53.
Sorry, Leon just got home. Dog's about to bark.
Orc. Yeah, looking over. So not only is Natalie and where Gregory was 60 feet away, um, it's also been a couple of seconds looking over, but you swear you can see what look like droplets of blood kind of leading away, uh, just perpendicular away from Natalie. It's you can't say like exactly when or where, but you can just see like general direction of like, that's a little more than coincidence to just be daisies in a field.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout like, Natalie, the blood, and not give any more context than that, and just kind of
Yeah.
point.
30 feet to your left, Natalie, you just hear shit.
But I'm staying here with my creature, so that's the end of my turn.
Yeah. Awesome. So Natalie, you're up.
I would like to try something
Mm-hmm.
similar. I don't want to be like full Beyblade, like
Never
say,
go full Beyblade.
Never go full Beyblade.
But I would at least like to run in the direction that I heard. Oh, bye.
She just went full Beyblade.
Yeah, never go full Beyblade.
Oh, bye-bye.
Full bye-bye.
Full Beyblade.
Sorry.
It's okay. This is very funny. Yes, so I would like to go roughly in the direction that I heard that. I would hope that being a person with that heard that, I would be able to kind of get that general gist. But the idea is to essentially act like Garen from League of Legends and just do a little spin, but just not so exaggerated. I just basically want to like swing it out and just like I'm chopping a really long tree.
So why don't you, for the intents and purposes of D&D, you would have to attack like one square on a grid. I'll let you do a spin and like attack all of those squares. But there would be like a penalty to your to hit because you're just like swinging wildly and spinning.
Let me negotiate perhaps. I am happy to attack one, but I could maybe like I'm happy to try to get in with melee range. Can I use like a survival check to suss out where he is or something?
Yes, so you can look and try to find like a informed idea of where he is. Or you can try and like spin and swing wildly. That'll give you like a minus to hit. And either way, the attack is going to be at disadvantage because you don't know exactly where.
But I can attack recklessly. So it does give me a lot of joy to be like, I could be calculated about this. Or I could just run around with an axe in a field and just go, which does bring me a lot of joy.
I like to imagine that they're inside Ridden's Dredge, like looking out, and all of a sudden they just see you like, just through an open field.
For the drama of it, I think it's what I need to do. I started off with the Beyblade. I gotta go Beyblade. We gotta do this.
So I'm gonna roll 2d4, and that's gonna be minus your to hit.
Okay.
So that is 4 and God, that's a colorful die. 2, so minus 6.
Minus 6, and I also get disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Okay. Easy. And I've got 2 attacks, so I will roll both at the same time because they'll be fun rolls.
So you're just gonna swing and go.
I sure am. Well, should I roll 1 first? Because obviously if I hit it, then I would know where he is.
You would have an idea. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just roll 1 for the moment.
1 at a time.
That's not gonna hit. That is a natural 2, so that makes it a 10. Minus 6. Not gonna happen. Oh, that's a 16 though, which is 24. Minus 6, so
18.
18. Yeah, it's plus 2 then. Yeah.
Awesome. As you swing by, just like swinging, you just swipe through the air over and over, just whoosh, whoosh, tossing the axe around. And it's actually kind of cathartic. Like usually when you use your axe, it's controlled and relaxed and you practiced and exercised, but this is just fucking hit as much square footage as possible. right as you're reaching the edge of about 30 feet of movement, you hear "fuck," and all of a sudden, appearing in front of you is Gregory once again, still bleeding from this massive cut. But he holds up his hands like this, and you can see an arcane barrier gets tossed up, and at an 18, that hits his AC. So 18 and 18, that's a hit, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think meets is hit, right?
Yeah, meets his hit. Gosh, it's
That
been
was
so long since
I
I
feel
played
like that
D&D.
should be a much more better rhyme to it or something, right?
Meets his
Meet
hit.
or beat, that's it.
Meet or
Meet or
beat,
beat.
and that's it. So
Uh,
even though he holds up like this protective barrier, you still just quickly chop through it.
okie dokie. I get a D12.
Oakley dokley.
That's a lot. This might be pushing my luck a little, and it is okay if you say no. Can I do that non-lethally? I don't know how you use an axe non-lethally, but
Swinging blindly in a field.
yeah.
You just spun the
Just
axe
aiming for
around so
like
you're hitting it
a
with the blunt end.
paper cut. I will leave it up to your
I
discretion.
I can't see it in my head after how we described it, of you like spinning wildly over and over and over, and then finally you see him as you're swinging through and being like, "Oh, I don't want to kill him." Like I don't see you being mid strike and being like pivot.
Maybe we can
Um,
hit him somewhere where he'll die slower than immediately.
yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe he'll survive the hit.
Who knows? But that is so if he was nearly down with the last one, that is a 9 plus 4, so 13, plus
13,
3, which is 16. So that's nearly
16.
all of the damage I did last time in one hit for slashing damage.
Yes. Going sideways again, you're bringing the blade. He tries to get the spell up in time. The blade hits the resistance of the spell, and then there's just this loud cracking sound as the spell evaporates, and you see his eyes go wide as he didn't like pull himself out of the way this time. And even though his hands are up, the blade once again catches him in his still bleeding forearm, tears it to the side, and just goes right across the jugular and the throat as you let the momentum of the throw continue through. And there's just like an anime spray of blood out of his neck as he kind of coughs and staggers and goes down.
Oops. I think
Oops.
as he's like fallen to the ground, I'll just look back at everyone and just like shrug.
Like sitcom.
Hey, I warned him. He had a chance.
Looney Tunes zooms in.
Well, no, because he faced me. That's awfully cocky of me. He could absolutely destroy me.
Emmy, you are up.
Just like Nat and I make eye contact for a second. It's just like, anyway, can I don't know how well this is going to go, but can I see the creature's eye at all, or just the hands at the moment?
You cannot, just the hands.
Yeah. I was going to
It's
say, can I
three
see?
like wrist up hands.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I still see murder in its eye?
Does this thing still want to eat me?
I don't know why I suddenly have such empathy for this monster. The only other option is waiting for Ori to drop her like concentration or for the creature to break out of it, and Ori is like right there literally trying to drag the thing out of the ground. So
You can attack its hands.
yeah, I'm going to cast Blight on the creature.
Okay, yeah. Is that
It's a Constitution save.
Constitution? Okay. That is 25.
Fuck. Yeah, that's a failure, but on a failed save, it takes half damage, necrotic
Ooh.
damage. It's a lot of dice. Not a lot of good numbers.
9d8. What?
Yeah, baby. So that is half of 33.
33 is 16 halved. Yeah. You kind of hesitate for a moment. You're like, better safe than sorry. And let loose this pulse of necrotic energy that crashes into the hands. And you can see the hands still kind of being held start to like twitch in pain, even against the spell. You can't see the damage that the spell is wreaking, but you can tell it hurts. 16 points of damage. Wow. Awesome. Anything else?
No, just a moment of self-reflection that this isn't fun when they can't fight back.
Awesome. The creature is still held. It's going to try and break free. Hey, that's a 17.
Very sorry, just getting an update on the situation that I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
That was
Everything okay?
you said a 17 to break out?
Yes. Yep.
That's gonna do it.
Okay, 17. It breaks free. That's the end of its turn. So Oriana, you are up next.
I would attempt to hold monster again, but I use my other 5th level spell slot to try and unduck duck. To reduck duck?
To
Anyway.
duckify.
I can't
It
do that
makes
again.
me feel better. I wasted a packed magic slot on casting blindness on the duck.
The duck had murder in its eyes. That duck was looking for a fight.
It did. Still does.
Yeah.
It still just got its little hands out. That's all. I don't know what I should do. I'm just gonna, I suppose, whack it. I'm gonna whack its hand. Just
Sure.
like whack-a-mole its hand with my Morning Star.
You can see it's already starting to pull its hands down into the dirt a little bit. Go ahead and take an attack roll.
Okay. That's not excellent. That's only a 10 plus 5, so 15.
15 is not a hit. As you bring the Morning Star down, the hand just disappears into the dirt.
Rude. Can I try and grab its other hand? If its other hand's still out, can I like attempt to grab it?
So you did use your action to
Yeah.
attack.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Not so much a bonus
I'll let
action
you.
to try and.
I'll let you try and not so much grab, but hold on.
Okay.
So go ahead and make an athletics or acrobatics check to hold on.
Oh, I feel like that's also not going to be great. That's a 15, and I think I have nothing to. I have nothing to athletics, and I have -1 to acrobatics, so it's just 15.
15, sure. So because this is kind of off the general rules of D&D, we're going to say that right now you are holding on to it as it's descending down. You're
to
not holding it up. It's going down and you're just holding on. If it wants to get rid of you, then it's going to need to beat a 15.
I don't think that's going to be that hard.
But that'll be on its turn whenever that happens.
In the very least, I'm heavy.
Yeah. Nothing like being buried under 20 feet of dirt and stone in plate. Natalie, how's Kitty?
Very cute. Hi.
So sweet.
He's really liking my hair. I don't know why.
Mm.
Now he's also
Yeah,
staring
it's
at me.
nice.
What are you staring
And pretty.
at?
And fluffy like him.
True. So Oriana has tried to go underground with the creature.
I'm just
Oriana's
holding
just
hands.
grabbed onto it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're getting there. How far away is the creature from me then? So I've gone 30 feet to the left, or like perpendicular to where I was, or the trajectory of where I was going.
A squared plus B squared is C squared, so let's just call it 75 feet. 60 than 30.
Wait, but I thought the creature was no, it wasn't closer because it was by.
It came out of the ground where you started, 60 feet away, and then it just moved 5 feet over to Emmy.
And what the fuck am I going to do? Get a shovel? If it's 75 feet though, I would at least like to move over towards it. There is no actual part of it that is outside of the ground right now. It is all in the ground,
You can see
basically.
2 of its hands. The third one has disappeared down into the dirt, and Oriana is holding onto it and is currently wrist deep in the dirt.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to dash towards it. Yeah. Which kind of sucks because I was going to try and keep my rage, but I guess I can't. Well, it depends. It might hit me. Who knows? I pinched myself. Nah. But yes, so I'll
just
head.
Yeah.
Just to really keep myself, alive and going. But yeah, I'll go over there. So 40 feet to get over there, and then I'll do the extra 35 with a dash to get by
Awesome. 75. Easy.
Oriana.
Just full on like military sprint with your axe. Already you could see that Ori is like trying to brace her feet against the soft dirt, but it's like continuing to pull downwards. Yeah, that's your turn. Emmy.
The question is whether the creature is disengaging or like going down so that it can attack from below, and I can't risk that. So at this point, is any of it still visible?
Yes, you can still see the 2 hands.
Eldritch Blast. Let's go one hand each.
Awesome. Let's get some attack rolls.
So that is a 17 and a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Both?
So the 17 is going to miss. It explodes into the dirt right next to it. The 21, like, it goes towards the hand right as the hand like starts to pull down, and it just whizzes by the knuckles of the finger and strikes into the dirt, letting loose a cloud of dirt.
I might also shout at Oriana to let it go. I mean, it's taking you with it. Like, you're not dragging that thing back up.
You can choose to let go.
When has Oriana backed down from anything?
I muted and unmuted in the same click. I double clicked.
Yeah.
I probably should, but not yet.
Cool.
Awesome. So it is going to descend down into the soil and dirt. Do you let go?
If like my shoulder touches the ground,
Yeah.
like if my whole arm is in the dirt, I'll let go then because I don't want my face in there. But I'm gonna try and hold on for as long as I can.
In about 2 seconds, your entire arm up to your shoulder is just in like loose dirt.
Fair enough. I will let go.
I can hear purring.
Chat can't hear purring. You're all missing out.
You would think that is Lucas the cat, but that's just Burrows.
Yeah.
Feeling pleased.
It's the baby.
Yes. Yeah, so you let go?
I know that this is like their turn, but instead of letting go immediately, can I cast Burning Hands one-handed? Can I, like, try and channel it through their body?
So it is
Nice.
not your turn.
Yes, that's true.
Uh,
If I was going to make, if I got down to my arm in 2 seconds, the rest of my body is going to be harder to pull through the dirt because it's not as streamlined as an arm. How
So
underground
the
would I be if I kept holding on?
so the spell description for Burning Hand says, as you hold your hands with your thumbs touching and your fingers
Oh.
spread. So you would need to get your other hand over to the grappled hands and wiggity wiggity wiggity.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible, but I am liking this idea, so I'm just quickly looking at the rest of my damage spells and seeing if there's something else I can do
So
simple.
what was your question one more time?
Um, given that the rest of my body is gonna be harder to pull through the dirt than
Yeah,
just an arm, how much underground will I end up being if I don't let go? Like, how much could I assume ish?
it's
Like, not a
continuing to descend downwards. It's been 2 seconds. This is a snap judgment. It seems to continuing to be going down. Do you like
it
our hold
doesn't
on?
seem it doesn't seem to be, like, getting any
It doesn't
resistance
seem
from
to
me
be
holding
stopping.
on.
Nope.
No, I'll just let go then.
Okay. You let go, and like the earth around your arm is sort of loose and churned, but you still kind of have to work your arm up before pulling it free with all of the dirt now like falling into the gaps in your armor. Um, it kind of like rumbles a little bit for a moment and then stops and goes flat. And there is silence. Until it erupts underneath Emmy and bursts out from underneath the dirt and once again makes 3 claw attacks and 1 bite attack.
Oh god, I genuinely don't know if I can body this.
15,
That hits.
11,
Doesn't hit.
17.
Okay, 2 hits.
So those are the 3 claw attacks. So
Also,
you had
I
2
would like to
hits.
point out, I would like to
Yep.
use Spirit Shield
Yeah.
as well, because I am still raging. It won't drop until my turn, so
Okay.
just keep that in mind. I can roll the damage that it takes away while
Yeah,
you're
please.
doing that. So ignore me while you do your thing.
Spirit Shield. If you're raging at another creature, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 3d6. So that is 9 damage and 6 damage for the first 2.
It was also 14 damage in total that I can block.
Yeah, so we'll say the 9 damage is reduced. So then the 6 damage would go through.
So
Yeah.
6 damage total?
So 6 damage there. Now it's going to use its bite attack
Ah, there it is.
as that tries to bite you as it comes erupting out of the dirt. Oh, so close. That's an 8.
Hell yes. Okay, 6 damage and Hellish Rebuke. That is a dex save.
Okay. Oh, it's got numbers. 19.
Is that, hang on, is that half damage or no damage? Yep, half damage. That is a tidy little half of 13. Do you like how I'm just not even attempting the math?
Yeah. 6 damage. Once again, there's a gout of this flame, and this time the creature is like half out of the ground. You can see more of its body and torso. Its sort of brown, leathery skin seems to provide it significant protection from the insane just diving through the dirt that it's doing, but the massive maw kind of like flaps temporarily, like grasps as if at nothing, from the fire damage that you inflicted, but it is still alive. But that is its turn as it takes those attacks. Yeah, the flames wash over it. Oriana, you are up.
So it's out of the is it out of the ground now that it's attacking Emmy?
Yes.
And it would be pretty close to me because I purposely got close to Eminence, yes?
Yeah, so Emmy, you backed away, what, 10 feet?
Yeah, only about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're about 10 feet away.
Cool. I am going to make my way over to it, and I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds on it at 3rd level.
Okay.
I don't know if these dice... I haven't decided if these dice are nice yet, but I'm going to use them anyway. These dice are nice! That's a nat 20! I like that.
Nat
This is
20
good.
melee spell attack.
Yeah.
So that is a crit. Holy cow! So is that 60-10?
Oh, what?
I cast it at 3rd level.
Oh, so it's 5d10 doubled, so it's 10d10
Oh,
damage.
fuck. Okay, I don't have that many d10s. I'm gonna do that on D&D Beyond.
Okay.
Even though I don't like D&D Beyond that much, and I think it's mean to me, but we're gonna try. So we're going not D100, D10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it gonna go? Everybody, roll.
Rolling, rolling,
51.
rolling. Wow.
Damn.
51 points of damage.
Yes. And if it's not dead, I'm gonna use my bonus action to also whack it
Jesus Christ.
because I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you sprint over towards it, seeing it once again attack Eminence, just clawing and biting, trying to attack whatever it was previously targeted. This time you managed to grab that same claw, and even though they look fairly similar, you're like, this is the same hand I grabbed a moment ago, but this time I'm not gonna let go. And there's a pulse of necrotic energy as all of a sudden you just see like these like wounds begin to split and open up all across the body as it lets out this terrible scream of pain as it like seems to writhe for a moment before it lets out this choking exhalation and slumps down into the ground, its lower half of its body still like sunk into the dirt, and it is no longer moving. 51 points of damage did in fact kill it.
Oh, I wouldn't have cast it at 3rd level if I'd known I was going to crit, but it's good. Excellent. Wonderful. Dead.
Well done.
Gonna look at Eminence, who I assume is not looking fantastic at the moment.
I'm looking about half as good as I could possibly look.
Oh.
Which is still like what regular people look like?
Yeah, I mean, on a bad day. Yeah. I'm gonna kind of like reflexively almost like snap at Oriana and get like I want to say I had it under control, but I get about halfway through the sentence, stop myself. Uh Thank you for,
you, you're welcome. You feeling okay?
I like I'm fine, obviously, but a bit sore.
Yep. If we're out of initiative, I can just do some healing.
Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna do the awkward shoulder pat that I usually do that means a hug, but I'm going to put a 4th level cure wounds into that.
Nice.
And I'm also going to do that in D&D Beyond because I'm feeling lazy. So that 1d8 plus spell level, so it's 4d8. Where's my 8?
So as you walk over to it, you see about 10 feet away, having watched this whole encounter and fight, is Duck. Wings fully outstretched to assert dominance, with the small kitchen knife in its beak. Somehow it managed to get the kitchen knife away from you once again. And it waddles over, wings still open wide, to the deceased body of the creature, and just starts to like smack it with the wings.
I was waiting this entire time for Duck to come running in with a knife, just like, Go Duck. Smacking with the wings, also a boss move.
If I had some kind of duck treat to give the duck, I would give the duck some kind of treat. This is something that we're going to have to invest in when we get back to town. Like positive reinforcement. We get some treats.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's 20 points of healing to Eminence.
Oh, 20. Thank you.
20. And I'm just going to leave Eminence there with the duck. And I'm going to go over to where Natalie killed Gregory. And if his body's not invisible, I'd like to kick him and then have a look-see.
Yeah, he's fully dead and he's not invisible. So you give him a good kick in the gut, but you can see like his neck is like there's a good chunk of it just kind of split. Natalie just even grazing had just a great swing. And have a look-see. So you're gonna investigate his body?
Yeah. I don't know if I have to ask for specifically what I'm looking for, but I mean,
Yeah, so you see going through his personal effects, go ahead and make an investigation check for me, just for like cursory glance.
no, it's a +1. It's underneath intimidation, which is a 7. Okay, so that's only a 13. I was thinking that was going to be really good, but I'm not actually investigating at all.
Yeah. Yeah, 13. You find the strange like globe thing in his pocket. It's the size of like a small apple. You see that it's just like a glass sphere, and in the center of it, suspended by like two thin pieces of wire, you can see sort of like a little cone, like a compass, but very clearly as you tilt it and rotate it around, you can see that it does seem to like center in on a general direction that right now seems to be pointing towards Natalie.
Mm. Yeah, the thing that
Because
he
I
wanted.
have the thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Does he have like any paperwork or anything on him that implies that he's with some kind of group, or is it mostly just the compass thing of interest?
So going through his personal effects, you find like a spell components pouch. You find his spell focus. He has a wand in one pocket. You find a pouch that has 12 gold and 4 silver in it. You find a small piece of paper that when you open it up and unfold it, just has what looks to be like a bounty card, like paying significant reward for all uh, the like piece of paper says null rock, like Nullrock. And then underneath it has like a brief description of like otherworldly stone, strange effects on reality, highly rare material, uncomfortable to touch or be in contact with, And at the bottom it has like accepting all forms of Melrock. And then at the bottom, you see there is what looks to be like an address. And that address is the Twin Spire Peak, Ulsan.
There it is.
Yep. Ooh. I feel like Duck is a bad influence on me. I'm gonna kick him again and then go back to the others if they haven't come over to me.
You see that from 60 feet away. Duck like looks over and sees you do that and tries to like waddle over with his large webbed foot and like kick, but he has a hard time tilting his body that way. So in the end, he just smacks it once again with the wing and then finally ruffles his feathers and puts his wings down. Like he puts his wings down like he's holstering guns.
Obsessed with this dog. I don't think we've known each other long enough for the duck to get like a good boy, but soon maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll head on over with my things that I found.
Yeah, I will join you.
Yeah, you find a couple of other personal effects. You find like a pack of 7 dice, like 66, for some sort of dice game. You do find what look to be like small bleached animal bones, almost for like divining. Yeah. Yeah.
That was interesting.
Certainly was. We knew we were
There's
in
something.
hold of something magical, I guess.
I'm going to, forgetting that Natalie can't read, pass over the piece of paper that says that they're looking for rock, not just magical, without really an explanation, just the paper in response to, well, we knew it was magic. Never seen one of those before either.
A piece of paper?
No, I don't know what it is because I've never seen one before.
Oh yeah, that was
I rather
fun.
hope we don't see one again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I remember at the end of last session, one of you recognized those creatures, the creature as a Zorn.
Oh shit, actually that might have been me.
Yeah. So the Zorn, just as a quick refresher, they are native to the elemental plane of Earth. They can move through earth and rock and stone as easily as if it were water. They naturally eat and hunt for rare gems and rare minerals, and they are generally wild beasts. However, it seems as though whatever the compass that Gregory had seems to have been able to not only find a specific type of mineral, but also guide the creature towards that mineral.
Yeah, remembering now, apparently, that I do know what this is. I'm gonna be like, actually, you know what? This thing does seem vaguely familiar. I think it's a Zorn that does all these things that Dee just said.
You remember learning about them, but in your head, you like pictured it the size of like a cat.
Yeah. A lot bigger than I'd ever anticipated.
Just needed to put 2 and 2
gross.
together.
We should get a lead box, I think, for that knife.
Maybe.
Yes, the knife is going to be a problem.
Well, we know that we're trying to get it back to our employers. We just need them to actually get in contact with us.
You know what? I have an idea. Keep the knife safe. We're not going to. I'm kind of like looking at Natalie as I say this, like trying to, because I know that you're very protective of this knife. Going to keep it safe. Nobody else will be able to get to it, but also it won't be able to influence us in any way. What if we put the knife in the pocket dimension and I pull out the cloth that I have? Keep it safe.
The only thing, look, like, I am all fine if one of you wants to hold it. That's all good. If we have access to that, though, right? Someone
yeah,
else could.
Oof. I mean,
Yes, but we have it, so they'd have to get through us to get to it. And if they got through to it through us, it wouldn't matter whether or not it was on your person or in the hole.
yes.
But no one else can get into that same thing?
Oh, you mean like a second door?
Yeah.
Would I know? Can I roll to know if that's how that could possibly work?
You can make an Arcana check if you like.
I'd like to as well, just in case yours is bad.
Okay.
I'm just assuming.
19.
Oh, never mind. 15.
Both of you know that, generally speaking, most interplanar, like doorways, gateways, portals, objects are 1-to-1. It is difficult enough to key a piece of fabric to a miniature pocket dimension. It is that much more difficult to key two objects to the same pocket dimension. Um, Generally 1-to-1. It's possible that there are multiple doorways that exist. It's just unlikely. Usually, the only time that ever happens is for like a very specific purpose of like, hey, we're this really, really big, like, interplanetary adventuring guild, and all of our adventurers would have a key to deposit things in the vault. So they could each go in, put things in like a temporary holding space that is shared among everyone. But that's like very, very high level, very difficult to do uh, levels of magic. For something like this, like a single personal study, it doesn't appear to be shared by multiple people.
But, like, theoretically, oh, actually, no, I'm not going to know this, am I? So,
I love the idea of Natalie saying the word
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah. So
Stumbling over it.
theoretically, the pocket dimension exists inside of like open space, and is like a closed box in open space. Theoretically, anything could happen in that open space of the cosmos of creation. Like a giant space whale could come by and be like, nom, and just eat it. But
Theoretically.
space is really big. When I was in the 7th grade, I was in math class and we were getting a presentation on imaginary numbers. And my teacher said, you can never, ever, ever divide by imaginary numbers. And I, who had just learned about dark matter in the physics class in the earlier period, raised my hand and stopped class to ask about. So theoretically, maybe, but in all practical concerns, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had this discussion before about the whole like you could just put your hand through the desk right now if like theoretically every
Theoretically.
single molecule in the universe lined up perfectly for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Theoretically.
Well, let's say Ori and I have explained that to Natalie, who's looking at us very blankly. Um, also, this was like it belonged to the Lich. Like we've kind of established that it was his study. It had all of his materials in it, and the Lich no longer a problem. So even if theoretically he had another doorway, it's not like he'll be using it.
well, You're sure though that there's not like any other magical way that they can get there? Like if they're keyed into this thing, can they just be like, I want to go to anywhere that thing is, and then they can go there?
Funnily enough,
Meaning this would.
yeah, the key, the doorway.
After being sassed by God.
Sorry.
That's great. Natalie's just getting bullied this session.
Theoretically.
Meaning this with all due respect, the smallest of chances of that happening, I think, is less likely than something being able to take it from any one of us in a fight, even you.
And presumably, these zone things can't sense it in a different pocket dimension. So it's safer on that level as well.
I'd rather not attract another one.
If it is what you want to do, then I will just trust your judgment.
Wonderful.
And I'll pull it out of my pocket and hand it over.
Oh, okay. That was easier than I thought.
I really,
Um,
I don't care about you guys taking it. I just don't want anyone else to take it.
You said that, but I was getting weird vibes. I don't like that knife
Well,
at all.
no. So my logic is, right, like as Natalie, is that if she's holding it, she's physically there for every single time someone's near it, right? So she just fights the thing that's near it. If she puts it in a pocket dimension, even if there is a low chance, there is not a no chance. So there could be a time where it's sitting there on its fancy pedestal and it gets Indiana Jonesed away and she has no control over that. So that's the vibe, that's the thought process, but she doesn't mind if you guys take it. It's if someone else does and she's not there to stop it.
Yeah. Okay. All that said, Ami's gonna kind of shake out the pocket dimension, place it on the ground, and just kind of like, I'm not gonna like go in there and place the knife safely on a desk
Drop
or
it.
something. Just like mic drop.
It clatters and bounces a few times and next to the floor.
Cool. Pick it back up and stuff it back in wherever I keep that thing.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Where were we going before this happened?
Going to see
We were
boyfriends.
gonna go see my boyfriend.
Right.
I think it's important to note that
ferry.
everything seems to be leading back to Olsen continually. So maybe we
Oh,
can
yeah.
reassess when we get to the where boyfriend is. He now no longer has a name. And we can go from there.
Silent.
He very much established last time that he's not as silent as we thought he was with his panicked phone call. So we can't call him Silence anymore. He's
Oh
just
my
boyfriend.
god. I want to see his face if you try to call him Chatty. Chatty Cathy.
Unfortunately, because I don't think Oriana can hear the calls. I think you've been taking them in different rooms. That won't happen.
Yeah,
But I
this
wish
is
it
very
could.
much one of those cases where she's like talking to her girlfriends about her boyfriend, and she's like, "You don't understand. He's a totally different person when he's just with me." But yeah, I guess we start to head off towards the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we literally didn't need to say hello to anyone. We'd checked in on everyone. We'd done everything we
Well,
needed to do. That was what was next plan.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
it's
we
a
were picking up horses or something.
yeah, because
and
it's
then
a few
heading
days
out.
travel, right?
Well, we
Yeah,
have
horses and
horses, don't
supplies
we?
and heading out.
Get our horses.
Yeah,
get
but
our
we don't
horses.
have them
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
but do we need to like? Can't we just like scene change and we have horses?
Happy to do that if
I
there's
am.
nothing that's going to happen at the stables. If we can skip, I'm happy to skip. I
Me
don't
too.
feel a need to talk to anyone.
But do people feel a need to talk to you?
Yeah,
They always seem
exactly.
to.
I don't know. We just had this guy just had the need to talk to us. That's our encounter for the time. He's the one who interrupted
That's
our
our
original
social,
idea.
yeah, social encounter of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you head back to Tengboche, you get all your stuff. If I remember right, you had horses coming from Valetair. Yes. So you head back to the monastery and close out your tab. The total for about a week's worth stay for the three of you is, we'll call it 3.5 silver. Three
I know
silver,
that
5
that's not
copper.
much, but they're going to charge us for the time that we literally weren't here.
The rooms were booked.
Don't
Off
get
saving the
pedantic.
town.
Is that each or all together?
Total. Sorry, per
Uh,
room. I believe
per
you all
room?
had 2 rooms, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we have so much money. Don't get pedantic.
Well, no.
I'm not
I
actually
was
getting
just like,
pedantic.
if it's literally under 4 silver for all of us, we can pay that with the money I just stole from the guy we killed.
Correct.
Because he had an
He
amount
can
of
pay for
gold
us.
and 4 silver. I was like, I don't even have to touch the gold that he gave us.
It was like
But
12
I'll
gold
pay
and
it
4
with
silver.
that.
Yeah.
I do love the
Yeah.
idea of you just flicking them like one bloodstained gold, like keep the change.
Just like, oh god. Yeah. Yeah, you pay out your time, you collect your belongings, and your belongings, and you go get your horses and head out of town. Nobody else to talk to?
I don't think so. I think we talked to everybody else like last night or this morning.
Much. Let's say a final goodbye to Pranav before we head out. He helped us out a lot.
We like him.
Yeah. I feel like he'd give good hugs.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So you go to find Thurov.
Yeah, just to say bye. Thanks for everything, mate.
Yeah.
See you around.
See you around. You leave the monastery, the hostel, and you can immediately see Threnir is in the central hot spring in the pool. Just like fully half giant body sticking out of the hottest central spring. And there's just like a constant wave of scalding hot steam rising up into the air. And as you kind of like wave over to him, he gets up. He's got like these sort of swim trunks on, and just immediately like bounds across the other springs. And oh, time for you to leave then.
Yes, I think we've overstayed our welcome as it is.
Oh no, I'm sure you're plenty welcome here.
I kind of look back at the hole in the ground and the carnage and the blood.
Oh, that's over by Ridden's Dredge.
Oh,
That's
okay. So it's not like
fully a good like
invisible from
15
here.
minutes out of town. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
The only people who saw that were the folks at Ridden's Dredge, and
Wait.
you just killed 3 people and left. Just left their corpses in the afternoon sun.
Cleanup is someone else's problem. Yeah, we need to get out of here before it starts to smell.
Oh god.
We just I just wanted to say thank you for your help and enjoy the rest of your
Yeah, before you
time
even
here.
finish, Bernard just swoops you up into a big old
Oh,
hug, and he's still
oh,
like
okay. Okay.
wet from getting out of the pool, but fully like picks you up in this like full body hug, and he's like uncomfortably warm from coming out of the hot spring, and
For me.
oh, and plops you back down, and the front of your clothes are like wet and just imprinted with Renarv. And goes over to you, Oriana, and sees all of the plate armor and quickly sweeps you into a big old hug as well. Doesn't quite pick you up in the full plate armor, but just happily just crunches into you before finally letting go and going over to Natalie. And, goodbye. And goes for like a really big hug against the Natalie there.
Got a bear hug.
Oh, by the way, let's go, and goes over towards what seemed to be like his personal effects on the side of the pool. I've still got your, and he pulls out the small throwing axe, which in his hands looks pretty tiny. It's a big.
Ah,
Thank you for letting me borrow that. And he offers it back to you.
that's more than fine. If you would like, you can keep it as a memento to us, if you feel. It's nothing basic. I mean, it is basic,
why?
but
I couldn't. The memories, I'm sure, will last as long as enough adventure and memory for a lifetime.
fair enough. Then I'm happy to take it off your hands.
Maybe I'll get one your size. I mean, the size of yours, not the size of you. Well, maybe I'll get one the size of you. Now that's an idea.
How tall is a great axe? I feel like it'd be pretty close.
It's pretty big. Yeah.
Fantasy great axes. I feel like they'd be pretty fucking long.
Yep.
If they can make a Sarissa fucking, what is it, like 12 feet, I'm pretty sure they can make a really big great axe.
Is it like the really long, like
Yeah.
put it over someone's head and like?
That's like the Macedonian phalanx one. It's like
Yeah,
real
yeah.
fucking long.
Yep.
Get all the layers.
Those things are messed up.
Yeah, they're also fucking 12 foot long. Like, how do those things not just go whoop? Anyway,
Well, they,
not the point.
yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna get a Sarissa. I'm gonna get a Great Axe.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Good weapons. Excellent
Also,
swing.
Did we ever do anything about the the dragon thing?
I don't think it's a good idea to try. I mean, it's kind of what's powering the entire spring, and I think it's kind of he's sort of been there forever. It's really just part of the ecosystem at this point.
Yeah. He was waking up in the loop, though. You're probably fine. You're probably right.
We do think that that was the influence of the Lich's magic. If it wakes up, I'm reach out to these people, and I'm gonna like write down
Give a
our
bigger bird.
contact in
Mhm.
what's his name? That's way too
Left.
many pages back in this.
Elidir.
Elodie.
I
Contact
have
them.
that at the top of my head.
I think also there's no way that that creature was not already there when this whole time loop started. And I doubt a creature of that size managed to crawl its way under just as the time loop started. I imagine it's been there for quite a while.
Right. Yeah.
Don't do anything to antagonize it, and I'm sure it will be fine.
Maybe we'll just do like a fireworks ban.
Or we know that it likes to collect things. Maybe find some things that you could offer to
Throw
it.
them down the tunnels.
Yeah. It's not such a terrible idea.
Like a wishing well.
More
Yeah.
like a...
Like a wishing it doesn't wake up and kill you well.
Also, the fact that we slept through the night, probably a good indication that it wasn't like a daily occurrence that it tried to destroy everything.
I'm just gonna roll the d20. for no reason.
Yay.
Awesome. Love to hear it.
Look, let's be real. There is
just to hear
nothing
the sound.
realistically that we can do about this fucking thing under the
Oh, no.
thing. What are we going to do? Convince the whole town to move out? No.
Like, yeah, if this thing actually wakes up, we are like not coming back.
It is not our problem.
Yeah, that sounds like a you problem.
And also, trusting a bunch of adventurers who have been in the town for 2 seconds and being like, yes, I will trust my life and everything I own to these people that don't know anything about this town. We're going to sound like a bunch of gooses. And they're just going to be like, no, you're just so whacked. It's not it. And they're not going to listen to us anyway. So...
As you say gooses, Duck just goes, eh. Right.
Oh, yeah, was
exactly.
Pranav around when...
Where did you get that duck? Why is there a duck following you around? Does that duck have a knife?
It's fine. He's in training. Don't question it.
That gives me so many more questions.
And you will not get satisfying answers if you ask them, and you'll just have more questions, so we might as well not start.
As Thrinarv, a half-giant, is looking down at a duck. Duck unholsters his wings and just slowly opens them to maximum width and tries to intimidate Thrinarv. And Thrinarv kind of looks at you and... Does it do that often?
Act just a little scared and it'll stop.
Okay. I don't have to act a little scared. I'm just... It has... Why does it have a knife? That's the thing that gets me.
Yeah.
Like, if it was just big and angry and, like, hissing, it'd be like, oh, okay, this is a duck, but... It's a duck, but it has a knife. There's, like, an intent. There's a layer of malice.
Yeah. I'm not going to give any answers because I do not think it's going to do this poor man any good to find out that Duck used to be Duck, who used to be Duck, who is now a duck with a knife. Like,
Named duck.
Yeah, somehow I don't see
Right,
that
well-
ending well.
Can someone
exactly.
please clip that explanation? That was beautiful.
With a knife. Right. Well, good luck on your journey. Wow. If you ever find yourself in niche the gift,
Sorry.
the Henry Cavill gift, where he reloads his arms. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. If you ever need a lumberjack or a half giant, you can find me here or further up north in the foothills of Pikes. So go do your adventure. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die.
Same
You
to you.
also.
You too.
Mm-hmm. And he begins to make his way back towards the hot spring. And as he goes, he kind of like starts wading through, and it's like as the heat is coming off, and he's very clearly like, as it's just a little too hot. Like very clearly, he worked his way up to the highest temperature, and now he's trying to go like right back in.
Whew.
Yeah.
Off we ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much we can do about that Leviathan. Hopefully they just don't do anything stupid, which again.
I genuinely don't think it's a problem. I think that Leviathan's been here for like 1,000 years.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, it didn't kill us last night, so maybe it was just upset that
Yeah.
the time loop was causing an alarm to go off, and it was like, fuck you, I don't want to wake up at midnight. Get fucked
Yeah.
and just lay waste to everything. Because ultimately, then it's destroying its own home. So, like, that
Where
seems
else is it going to
stupid.
find another space to fit itself? It's real
Yeah,
large.
it's gonna melt all its gold. That's very silly.
Yeah, plus I'm pretty sure the monastery full of unspeaking monks is like worshipping the Leviathan and keeping it comfortable.
Yeah, they just gotta do their thing, and that is not our
Still
problem
my
if they
going
don't.
theory.
Based on that laughter, maybe we're wrong about that.
I think, yeah, I'm very wrong about that.
We don't have
And
to
we'll
know the
never know.
specifics.
Oh boy. There are lizard people living in the sewers. What?
Lizard people every
Well,
time.
technically, there were lizard people.
Oh, they were werewolves.
No, they were kobolds.
Oh, yeah, there were lizard people in the sewers. Every conspiracy theory is correct.
Just maybe
know.
not in the way that it is intended.
Yeah. Awesome.
But anyway, traveling.
But anyway, traveling. So do you I imagine you like pick up some supplies and hit the road?
Yeah.
I
Pretty
don't
much.
think we
Yeah.
need super much. I guess can we pick up a couple of health potions maybe if there's something around town?
I'll save you the trouble right now. The pot isn't the kind of town that sells health potions.
Hey, it could be
Yeah, I
something
feel
that
like we
has stuff on them.
maybe looked into that when we first got here as well. And it was like,
It
there's
is
not
a
really any
small
magic
town.
shit here.
It's like a 300, 400 person town. There are like alchemists and like herbalists and stuff, but no like magicians or anything, mages, wizards, markets or anything. It really is like a small tourist trap town.
Yeah, I feel like we'd get basically food for the journey, maybe a few days extra in case something unexpected comes up.
Yeah, I think that's a
We've already
plan.
got everything else we need. We've got camping supplies and shit.
Yeah, I can't possibly think of anything else that we need to do on the way out.
Not really.
Avoid explaining the duck situation.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
all we
hide the
have to
duck
do.
as we ride through town. We don't want anyone like jumping to any conclusions or connecting any dots there.
As you mount your horse, Oriana, and prepare to depart town, you hear the flapping of wings, and as you turn to look, Duck lands. We're gonna do shoulder, horns, shoulder. Shoulder, horns, shoulder. Your right shoulder, and lands on your right shoulder with a knife, and folds his wings and stands there on your shoulder. And like he's kind of like soft, feathery body kind of presses up against your ear a little bit just for stability.
I'm gonna like push my neck away a little so I can turn around and kind of look at him and be like, this isn't going to be a problem if you don't fucking stab me in the face.
As the duck head turns to look at you, he kind of has to angle his neck so the blade doesn't like cut. And he looks over and then looks back.
You
Make
will
an animal
lose shoulder
handling.
privileges.
Make an animal handling check for me.
Oh no, I'm not good at that. Oh. Okay, that rolled off of a 15 to an 11. I have a +3 to animal handling? Oh, it's a wisdom stat. Right, okay.
Yeah.
14.
Yeah. It's hard to tell what duck understands and what duck doesn't, because there have been times where you've been like, wow, that's a really intelligent thing for a duck. And then there have been times where you've seen him and been like, you are a duck. Um, that is, it's just a broad range of intelligence. Right now, you can't quite tell whether or not he understood, but he's not slashing your face.
Positives.
Great. And so you ride south out of town, following the path down towards the village where the barge is to head up the river, up tier, uh, to head to the forests towards the north of Pike. It is about puppy. Uh, at, so by the time you leave, it's probably around midday. You would arrive at the village after dark, unless you want to set up camp before dark and stop preemptively. But yeah.
How? Okay, so Eminence has been fluctuating this entire time between fuck silence, he was in a mood, and is he in trouble? So I'm going to not push very hard for rushing, but if nobody else is setting the pace, I'm kind of rushing.
I feel
Okay.
like personally, I feel like Natalie would never be one to amble. Like, I feel like she would even push a little bit too hard if no one stops her. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I would be erring on the side of going a little bit quicker. Cautiously
Yeah.
if we feel it's necessary, but mostly just quicker.
Yeah, awesome. So you set out at a strong pace. In the first hour, you continue to descend from the natural foothills, the sort of cracks and crevices of the um, iridescent stone covered in the moisture from the natural hot springs, the algae on top of the rocks. Not many larger trees can survive in these foothills. So it's just a lot of smaller shrubbery and patches of grass. After about 2 hours in the mid afternoon, you see up ahead in the distance, about 500 feet away, on the path in front of you, is what looks like a single wooden door, just standing
Fucking door
in
is
the middle of the
back.
path.
I hope it's the same one. This again.
I thought we told them to cut it.
We did. We very explicitly did.
That duck on them.
This would be good training for Doc. Shall we?
Sounds like a cruel knock-knock joke.
Knock, knock, who's there?
Pretty
Oh god!
much.
Why does it have a knife?
I mean, if you send Duck, we could always kind of stand back with a few spells at the ready.
Of course.
Absolutely. Natalie can cast axe.
I can also cast javelin.
Yeah, javelin is all long range. I'm gonna again move my head a long way out of the way so I don't get stabbed in the face and turn to Duck and be like, go investigate that. This is lesson 1.
Turns and looks at you. Make an animal handling check.
13 plus 16.
16. Okay. So you're still about 500 feet away. Do you get closer?
Oh, I didn't realize we were that far away. Yes, we'll get a
It,
decent
it was
amount closer.
like you came over a rise, and like at the top of the next rise, you see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get a decent amount closer. I
Okay.
don't know how long it would take a duck to run that far, but I think it would be. It stopped being entertaining before he got there.
Just the plap, 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 fading into the distance.
Yeah. So you get closer, 400 feet, 300 feet.
Can we at least like more as a caution, can we or can Natalie attempt to look around? I don't know if anyone else wants to. Obviously, we
Yeah,
see
make
the
a.
door, but yeah.
Are you looking for anything specific, or just looking around?
I would just like to know if anyone else is here. So even if that's like a survival or something,
Sure. So I would
whatever
say
you think.
perception or investigation.
Okay. Well, my intelligence strikes again. Won't be going with that one if I can avoid it.
I don't think you're close enough for survival. You could do survival if you got like within, say, 50 feet. Because that's like looking for like tracks,
Well,
broken
because I was more
grass,
thinking like
branches.
if someone has come around that area, you know, like they might have the door
Sure.
there,
So
but they're like gonna ambush us from the trees, kind of thing.
yeah. So again, it's wide open. There aren't large trees. The shrubs are about
I
waist
always
high.
assume there's trees.
Um, you're not in a forest. Um, it, honestly, again, just like the last time, there is very little natural cover nearby.
But I'm
Almost
guessing
as
the
if this
grass
spot
is
has been
decently
deliberately
high.
chosen. Yeah, the grass is about the grass and shrub is about waist high.
Yeah, so that's pretty tall, at least.
Is it perception,
I was going perception.
investigation? Okay.
But I highly doubt I can do much again with another natural 2. So I'm not rolling that dice again tonight. I'm going to go back to my metal ones because they're much nicer to me. So even that was an 8.
8. Yeah, no. I like how mentally I started shaking my head while still processing whether or not that would do anything, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I already know." Um, yeah, no, an 8 is. You see a door. There are a couple of places where you could be like, somebody could hide there, somebody could hide there, somebody could hide there, but you don't see anything stand out to you.
I'm tired. I'm just like, oh yeah, if it was me, I would hide
You already
there
killed
or
somebody
like
today.
there or like there.
Exactly, yeah. You killed someone today. You're done.
Just what? That's my quota. 1 a day.
All downhill from here.
Yep.
Yeah, so you get closer, 300 feet, 200 feet, 100 feet. Stop me whenever you're.
I
Did he have
reckon
something stuck to his butt?
Yeah, he's sitting on stickers and they keep getting stuck to the fur on his back.
Yeah. Oh.
It's very annoying.
Sorry, Ori.
unless anyone has like any objections, I'd want to stop around 60 feet if we're going to back up with spells. 60 feet is about a decent range there. So
What I was
stop at about
imagining.
60 feet and then let the duck off.
You get to about 60 feet and like motion to duck, and duck lands down on the ground next to you and doesn't waddle, but full on sprints down the road towards the door. I'm gonna have to roll some dice for this. Okay. Oh my god, that's amazing. You watch as duck like runs, wings down, doesn't stop at the front of the door, doesn't like go up to the front of the door, just fully sprints and disappears around the other side, and almost immediately you hear and just hear like the sounds of like beating wings as there seems to be combat going on. Duck is going to make an attack. That one time you had to come up with stats for a battle duck. You see, like staggering away from the door, like hands held out, holding the body, is a small goblin, only about 3 feet tall, sort of long, pointy ears, spiked teeth. They appear to have like dropped any sort of weapon and are just like holding the body of Duck. Duck is full on like wings beating, legs kicking, head flailing with the knife, and just like stumbles over, and you can like see them like wrestling down on the ground. Duck breaks free from the grapple, and you hear as the knife slashes into the goblin. The goblin gets a chance to attack back, and you see like feathers going on. It's full on like cartoon Looney Tunes, like just a complete tussle. That's cocked. We'll attack again. That's cocked. Does not succeed. That does not succeed. They continue to wrestle in the grass. This time they roll over into the middle of the road and like bump into the door, and it just kind of falls down on the two of them before slanting off to a side and landing over. As this is happening, Natalie, you who made the perception check, and I suppose the rest of you as well, because you're 60 feet away, you see about 30 feet off of the road, two more goblin heads like peek up out of the shrubbery, like looking over as they just hear like this yelling and screaming and see some sort of like battle going on with a duck. And one of them kind of like looks over and then sees the three of you, and the eyes just immediately go wide and no hesitation at all, just turns and immediately starts sprinting off through the waist-high brush into the distance. And the other one is like looking and looks back at the three of you and slowly starts to chase after the first one. Very clearly, the first one you recognize. The plan worked until it didn't.
If the second one is still kind of looking back every now and then, I'm just gonna raise my hand axe that I got back from Thrinav and just make the motion and like point at the duck on the ground fighting with his friend.
Yeah. It like looks alarmed and like shouts something in Goblin to the first one, and the first one says something like really short and terse, like "fuck, I know," and they just sprint off into the distance, cresting over a hill and disappearing from view. Meanwhile, in Mortal Kombat, the friggin' Pokemon theme is playing. Yeah, holy shit. Finally, the activity sort of settles down and there's quiet for a few moments as coming around the fallen door, you see Duck, his feathers completely ruffled and askew, with the fucking knife bloodied and dirty around his mouth. And you can see that he's kind of holding his wing a little tenderly on the right side. But he does not sprint back. He like walks at a gentle pace back towards the three of you. But of the goblin, you see no immediate sign.
I'm not gonna get down off of my horse if I can help it. But I'll try and like reach down and help the duck back up onto the horse. He's not going onto my shoulder.
Yeah, make an acrobatics check because you've got full plate armor and you need to reach
Good.
down off a horse
No,
to the
you're right.
ground.
This is a terrible idea. That's cocked, which is unfortunate because it was cocked as a natural 20. So we're gonna roll it again and not get anything even close to that good.
That one.
17 minus one though.
Okay, yeah,
So 16.
yeah. Your horse is like as you like fully lean off to the side and scoop up Duck. Like it did not expect that. My own sound effects. Oh boy. I think I've just got the giggles thinking about a battle duck. Okay.
He's only a little duck, so I'm just gonna use a first level cure wounds to help him out, which is gonna be, what is that? It's an 8. What does an 8 look like? That one's an 8.
D8.
That's a 7 plus 3, so 10.
Yeah, you fully
Get 10 points
heal him.
Oh, cool. Even better than I hoped.
He is a duck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it better than you hoped, or does he just have no hit points? It's a duck.
We'll work on it. We'll get him some tiny ducky, a tiny ducky helmet maybe or something at some point. I'm gonna have to talk to God and ask what is the most appropriate What can you tell me about the duck anatomy, God? How do I best armor it? I don't know.
What armor? Yeah, never thought I'd see a duck take a level in fighter. Um, yeah. You scoop up Duck and fully heal him, and as you do, he kind of flexes his wing and looks at you and gives like a happy little nod, and then kind of looks out towards the horizon majestically as he seems to await what's next.
Um, the the goblins that ran off, did they run off in the direction that we are currently going?
No,
Or
they split from the road. They fully were like, fuck this, and like just booked it.
yeah. I guess we're just back on the road again.
Continue on.
Yeah.
Wait for the next door.
The next test of his strength.
I love how this goblin, oh boy, this poor guy.
Yeah, actually, as we ride on past, can we check out the state of the corpse?
Absolutely, yeah. It's not elegant. It's not like shank or like deep stab or anything. It's just like a very thick, like deep cut into the neck. Like very clearly, Duck just went with the knife and just like pushed it in and used part of the struggling to just keep pushing it in more and more until finally it just stopped.
I'm gonna like,
Uh,
kind of like lean over my horse and just like check it out as I'm riding past.
yeah.
Sorry, look over at Duck and just say, good instincts.
Looks at you and then looks back at your sister and then looks out majestically to the horizon.
I think he understood.
Right.
As you're riding just past that, almost as if waiting for nobody else to see, you feel Duck kind of nuzzle the side of your head a little bit with his wing. Like, thanks.
Oh. Oriana is I don't, emotionally constipated, I feel is a term I've heard before, and I think it described her perfectly. So I don't know what she's gonna do. She's probably gonna freeze a tiny bit, but just like small affirmative noise
Mhm.
and just ignore it. Other than that,
Yep. Duck's still just chilling on your shoulder. Wonderful. The rest of your trip happens without consequence as you head down from the foothills towards some of the more grassland area around the edge of the Tier Lake. The sun sets. You get to see like the beautiful striations of the color across the sky before you are riding in the dark. Up ahead, maybe about 30 or 45 minutes ahead, you can see the light of your destination village. However, you are riding in the dark. Your horses do not have dark vision. Um, you get a little bit of extra time with Twilight, but not a significant amount. Would you like to ride in the dark?
Well, I feel like we've been with these horses for quite a while. I think that they'd probably be at the point of like training and trust where at a quite a slow pace, like we have dark vision and we're on a road. Like I feel like we could sort of just spur them on, right? Like they can fix
So
their way through.
we are on a road as well. How
Yeah.
far out
it is
would
a
we
dirt
be?
road. It's not like a well maintained. You could get there in about an hour. So they trust your guidance, but they don't know where to put their feet. If one of them rolls an ankle,
I
then that
forget how
horse is out.
delicate horses are.
Yeah,
I
majestic as
mean,
heck, but
I mean, ultimately, like, it's not the town that we need to be at, so we could just camp.
Good.
It would also help to have a rest.
Exactly. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
I think at least to like just chill out, rest, relax, take it easy, rather than potentially not being able to take a horse.
I mean, you were the one who put in my head that my boyfriend might be currently being murdered, but fine, let's have a nap.
Well,
You also could light
going
a
to
torch.
need a match. A match. You said light a torch, and I thought match.
Yeah.
We're gonna need an extra day to get to where we're going anyway. It's just we rest here rather than rest at a town.
Would we, I don't think we've ever established this, would we be smart enough to have gotten like the lanterns that you can put on the front of a horse? Like a horse lantern? Because if we haven't, I'd like to make a note that we're going to get these in our next like
We have
town stop
torches
tomorrow.
or at least
you
I
have
have
torches.
Torches, yes. But you can get lanterns that go on the front of a horse specifically so the horse can see the ground.
Yeah, it like attaches to the saddle and the mount.
Yeah. Which might be a thing that we want to do later if we're going to consistently be traveling in the dark. Because if we're holding a torch on the horse's back, it's not going to cast great light in front of the horse for the horse to see.
It's like
It'll
enough
help
to
us
see by
see.
at a walking pace. It's not enough
Yeah.
to like. If you run a horse or even like trot a horse in the dark, it's super dangerous.
Yeah.
Where's our resident horse girl? She knows horses. They know horses.
Mm,
Correct.
yes.
We can hear Aery from the back being like,
Yeah.
"Just
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
this."
Well, actually, here's the thing about horses.
Horse girl, like honorary rather than derogatory, like
Yeah.
in a good way.
For the sake of the campaign.
Yes.
Look,
If
honestly,
we can do torches and go quite slow, like even if it's an hour journey, if we can like push it out to 2, I would be happy to keep going if we can do it safely with torches.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want to like risk my horse's life potentially for a bed, but like, I really do want a bed.
Plus, camping takes time.
Yeah,
We'll save that
exactly.
time up later by not having to camp.
Yeah, true.
Provided nothing ridiculous or strange is actually happening in the town, but sure.
I mean, what are the odds of? Don't answer that.
You
If
know
something
that they're
ridiculous is
likely.
happening in this town, I am casting a vote that we just pretend that we never saw it.
We are not adventurers. We are humble travelers with a duck that has a knife.
I'm going to be entirely honest with you. If we go to a town that needs help, I'm probably going to jump in. So you run the risk if you go into this town and it does happen to be in danger that I will want to help, or we rest here and then deal with that in the morning.
Well, we're still going to have to go into the town in the morning.
Look, I'm happy with running the risk as long as you understand that depending on the level of danger, I may leave it in your capable hands.
I feel that I am incredibly capable. I am sure that will be fine.
Wonderful.
In most respects. But yeah.
So you continue onward.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But with torches.
It is with torches at a slow pace. Yeah, it is the better part of 2 hours. You probably could have made it in an hour if you continued on at your same pace, but it would have been reckless and dangerous and just an unnecessary time save at that point. As you get closer and closer, you can see not just one light, but many lights as it begins to grow into a small fishing village, maybe a population of 100 tops, smaller than the pot. A dozen standalone buildings, some of them extending out onto the still flat lake of water in front of you as you sort of come down the natural hills towards this lake of water. There are the reflections in the water are not still. There are small waves on a lake of this size, but it is still relatively calm. However, you can see the stars and the moon up above you, reflected in its light. As you get closer, at first you think that you're further away than you are, until you are finally surprised to arrive sooner than expected. It's sort of like the buildings are smaller, so you think you're further away, but then you get there and you're like, oh no, the buildings are actually just smaller. And as you get closer, you see why. Around all of the lights and torches, you see dozens and dozens of small humanoid fish people, going about with nets and fishing rods, hooks and spears, towing boats, gutting different fish and preparing them for different soups and stews. As this is like a hustling and bustling Kuatoa settlement.
Burrow's face. Cannibalism?
Yeah, I'm just like, wait a minute. But I guess fish do eat bigger fish.
They live on a lake.
That's pretty normal.
There's always
live
a
on a
bigger
lake.
fish.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is always a bigger fish.
What are they going to eat? Seaweed? Grass?
Maybe. Who knows? I don't know how their stomachs have developed.
Hmm.
They developed enough to have feet.
Yeah. And so you approach this town, and as you do, some Kuatoa like stop, and you can see that they've got like that same restless expression. Their eyes kind of seem to like slip off of you as if they can't quite keep themselves focused, and they begin to and turn and speak to each other in their weird language. And one of them you can see hears that response and then turns around, fully arms to the side, like palms up, and just like starts sprinting back into the town.
I
I
feel
love
like they
them.
maybe alerted them to our presence.
I mean, we're rather conspicuous. They don't seem unfriendly. Hello.
3 different Kuatoa simultaneously just
See?
like limp arm wave.
I might make a
then
motion to like sleep.
One of the Kuatoa goes over to another and puts their hands on the side of the Kuatoa's face and like looks at you curiously. Like,
Mm.
um. Hmm.
a moment later, you could see bustling out of the village, what seems to be an older Kuatoa. The skin is a little bit more sallow. The eyes have sort of yellowed a little bit. They've got these like older, raggy robes, like ragged robes, that kind of drag across the ground. Um, they approach this like gathering crowd of Kuatoa as clearly the 3 of you are starting to pull a lot of excitement. And this older one looks up at the 3 of you and welcome.
Common. Good. Hello.
Well,
Do we would like a place to sleep?
eat. Well,
No, not eat, sleep.
and turns around and begins to walk back into the town and goes like 2 steps before turning and looking back at the rest of you and sort of making a come with me motion.
I follow it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you stay on your horses?
I
I
mean,
think
we're
it would
on
be
the
more
outskirts
polite.
of town. I think it would be reasonable to stay on our horses at the moment.
I was
Mhm.
going to say it's a bit more polite to get closer to their
It's a
level, but
dozen buildings. It's not a large
right.
town.
But I guess like once we
Probably
get to like
dismount then, yeah.
the like the massive buildings, then maybe get down. But
Yeah.
if we're still like mostly outside.
As you dismount, um, Oriana, as you dismount, you see that emerging from the growing crowd of Kuatoa are two Kuatoa with what look like a net,
oh.
and they're both staring intently at Duck, and they're slowly approaching with this net in their hands between the two of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And Duck is like
scoop,
still on your shoulder.
I'm gonna scoop Duck off of my shoulder and just like hold him in my arms, and I'm gonna put a hand like on his neck and just be like, stay for your own safety.
Is that for Duck or is that for the Kuatoa?
For Duck, but also like making eye contact with the Kuatoa. Like I'm talking
They
to Duck, but I'm looking at them.
they kind of stop and see you do this and look up at you and look at the duck, and they kind of their eyes like blink asymmetrically. They kind of look at each other, and one of them kind of cocks their head as they realize that Duck has a fucking knife in his mouth. Um, and Duck, you realize, kind of hisses just quietly as you're holding him.
And look, I'm not gonna let go though. I don't want Duck to
Yeah,
kill a fish, and I don't want a fish to kill a duck.
yeah, yeah. Because one of them's going to get revived and one of them is going to get
Who knows what in what order, honestly, at this point.
eaten. Yeah. You follow this individual, and he just takes you like two or three buildings in, one of the larger buildings. Um, this one, you see all of the buildings are raised up on stilts a little bit, so they have like a clearance underneath them. Inside of this building, it is dry, sort of driftwood paneling holding it together. It's not like well maintained by any stretch of the imagination. There's like nets along the wall. The roof is just like wound straw and grass. Um, but entering up into the room, you can see a number of like lines running across the room horizontally and vertically, or across like latitude and longitude of the room. And there are different curtains across different lengths to create makeshift rooms in this area. And there are not any beds, but there are like rolls on the ground and like pillows and padding and all that sort of thing. Um, so very clearly, this, while not catered to other humanoids, this village can accommodate uh, other humanoids. And as you enter in, um, the Kuatoa kind of holds out a hand and blinks its eyes
Uh,
asymmetrically.
I'm going to pull out like a silver
Mm,
and a thing of like jerky or ration
yeah,
and sort of be like,
it,
"Mm,
it holds its hand and it doesn't even look at the two things you hold out. It just looks at you, like fully content to let you choose.
I'm gonna give him the food.
Yeah, you put the jerky in his hands and it sticks it in a pocket, and turns around and waddles out.
Hey, let's get some rest and then leave. This is awkward.
I never thought I'd meet this many Kuatoa.
I mean, they seem nice.
Yeah. The blinking one eye after another is a little disconcerting. that's going to take a bit of getting used to. I think we should leave as soon as possible in the morning.
And look, they're slightly unsettling.
A little bit, yeah.
At this point, you hear what sounds like a tribal drum being beat. Boom, 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 boom.
Maybe we won't get sleep.
Maybe we should have just camped on the side of the road.
Yeah. I think we've been over this before, but we're pretty aware that Kawatoa generally, like as a people, they tend to gravitate towards like worshipping powerful creatures. Yeah, like that's a
Yeah.
thing that we're aware that they tend to do.
Yes.
Cool. Shotgun, nod it, checking if there's a giant creature outside that they're currently summoning.
Do they have the power to summon things?
I don't know how any of this works. I think I just paid for a room, but who fucking knows?
Let's just go to sleep. I'll take first watch. I'll wake someone up after. And hopefully they're not going to try and eat us.
Yep. I'm just going to start heading over to a bedroll. I'm
Yep.
so done.
Ready to get some sleep.
Awesome. At that point, you hear maybe about 24 different Kuatoa voices simultaneously just go to the tribal drum.
I ignore it.
We are going to sleep.
Enough of this bullshit.
Yeah. So I will say this: 4 hours pass. Whether or not anyone gets any sleep is up to them. Over the duration of those 4 hours, Oriana, you sit and keep watch, and no Kuatoa try to enter this building, this like holding room, effectively. However, there's very clearly like frickin' Woodstock going on outside. And it is a tiny village, so you hear everything. Um, they're beating the drum, they're rattling bones. Thank God they don't have lips because they could play horned instruments, but it's just noise that is seemingly nonsensical to you. And 4 hours later, you do see that in the center of town there appears to be a bonfire that they've built.
Nope. Wandering through the town, because obviously this wasn't like the first house we got to.
Yeah.
If I cast my mind back, did I see anything that looked like, hey, this used to belong to somebody that wasn't a Kuatoa that we ate and threw into a bonfire?
Uh, so because you're trying to remember retroactively what you saw, I'm going to have you make a perception check with disadvantage because you're
Great.
perceiving against what you remember.
One's a 14 and one's a 7. So literally half of the other one.
Yeah.
Perception is +3. So 10.
10. Yeah, with a 10, nothing catches your attention.
Well, I mean, in the very least, I feel like I would have, even with a 10, noticed like a large person-sized pile of skulls.
Yeah,
So they
no.
haven't killed that many people, at least.
So there was like a tanning rack. There was like a butcher shed. Again, a lot of these buildings are Kuatoa sized, and they are maintained worse than this one. This one seems to be one of the most well off, and even then, there are like clear gaps in the walls. So it's not exactly an upscale town, for lack of a better word. Yeah, nothing stands out to you for Kuotoa specifically. Um, yeah, 4 hours pass. Your watch passes. I would say without incident, but there is a fucking rager going on outside. Did any of you ever live near a fraternity or a sorority at any
Not
point in your lives?
Not really a thing here, mate.
Yeah.
But I do know that Burrows lived for a while in student accommodation in the city near one of like our loudest roads for the weekend, like with all of the bars and the pubs and shit.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Burrows just went to make coffee.
Yeah.
They can relate, probably.
Yes.
I used to
I
live
spent-
close enough to Adelaide Oval to hear when there was a concert.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's one of those sorts of things where you're like trying to go to sleep, but you're like, fuck, it's Tuesday. Why? One of those
Who
kind of
goes to a
situations.
show on a Tuesday?
Why do they even have shows on Tuesday? It's the band's fault.
People never come to our fucking town, and when they do, it's on a fucking Tuesday.
Yeah. So 4 hours pass. Your watch reaches its end. Who would you like to wake up?
Simply because Burrows isn't at the computer, it's gonna have to be Eminence.
Awesome.
What?
It's your turn for watch.
Already?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck is that noise?
They're still doing the drums and the party thing, but nobody's come to the door. I don't think they're gonna. If they were going to try and kill us, I'm sure they would have done it already.
I do the thing where I kind of like sit up, like in my blankies, and just like sit for a minute. Yep. All right. I'll go over, sit by the door.
I'm going to try and sleep, but I would usually take my armor off to sleep. I'm not going to do that, even though I know I'm going to sleep worse. But
Mhm.
while I don't think they're going to try and eat us, I'm still very prepared to have to run out of here real quick. I don't
Yeah.
want to have to try and get dressed.
It's like the physical discomfort of sleeping in armor versus the mental comfort of being like, I'm safe in armor.
Yeah, if there's like a sturdy post, I'm gonna like sleep sitting up a little bit because that'll be more comfortable than lying down in armor as well.
Yeah, you go find a post and lean up to it, and after a moment or two, you feel Duck kind of curl up against the outside of your thigh, as he just like fully wants down. Like you know how ducks like fully just compress into just like this conical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got his little head tucked under his little wing
Yeah.
and a knife under the other one.
The knife is in front of him, just horizontally, like a pillow. Yeah, and do you do the airplane sleep where you're like,
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
or you like wedge your horn into the pillar so your head is supported?
Yeah, I usually if I'm sleeping up, I usually like sleep kind of one elbow on my knee and then my head stuck in that.
Yeah. Uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
mentally comfortable.
Mm.
Great. Emmy.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just going to sit by the door. Is there a spot that I can like peek out of occasionally and have a look at what's
Absolutely.
going on out
The
there?
door isn't a door. The door is a tarp.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Then I'll just sort of like kind of look like, what am I looking at?
Yeah, so peeking outside, you see what looks to be like a U-shaped scaffolding is sort of around the center of what passes for the town square. In the center, there's a bonfire that's probably about 15 feet high, just this really, really tall fire that they've set up. In the fire itself, you see driftwood and seaweed and whatever rags they could find and throw together for this bonfire. Next to the bonfire, sort of on the U-shaped scaffolding, you see there is this like large cauldron, um, probably about the size of one of the Kuatoa, maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. And it is just absolutely frothing and bubbling from the heat adjacent to the fire. And there are like fish bones, there's vegetables. You can see they're going up with what looks like crab, and they're just cracking open the shell and throwing the meat into this massive like communal cauldron. And you see that similar like Kuatoa elder is there next to the cauldron, just like vibing.
Having like a little Kuatoa Stardew Valley Harvest Festival, and I love it.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is the one where they do the soup at the beach, and the mayor has to taste the soup? And if you put pretty much anything in the soup, he says it's just okay. It's really
Is
annoying.
that Animal Crossing?
Stardew Valley.
Okay.
I think that's is that the yeah, I think that's the spring one.
Spring one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always put hot pepper in it because I want to ruin the experience for all of the children. Anyway, if it seems like they're being pretty innocuous and not like summoning a demon, I'm just gonna sit there and try not to fall asleep.
Awesome. Make a what would that be? Make a history, arcana, or a religion check.
My religion's good. Let's go with that one. That is a 19.
19. You watch for a little bit and kind of let yourself relax, because there's really nothing else to do while you're keeping watch. I mean, you're in the doorway in the one entrance to this house, and you keep getting that like that thought keeps running through your head. Like it's fine as long as they're not like trying to like summon anything or do anything bad. And as you keep watching for a couple of minutes, you're like, I don't recognize it, but I recognize it. Like they are they're trying to summon something.
Oh no.
Like it's nonsensical and it's Kuatoa, but you've, especially from where you come from, you've seen enough like pagan festivals and rituals to be like, there is a purpose to this. They are not just vibing. Like they are vibing. They're having a great time, but there is like a reason to it.
Mm. Yeah, look. Based on my experience with Koatoa recently, I don't really have any faith that they will succeed in what they're trying to summon. So I think, unfortunately, even though she's going to hate me for it, my plan is to sit out the rest of my watch. And instead of waking up Natalie, I'm going to wake Ori back up afterwards because she will be able to recognize if something kinky actually is starting to happen.
You're right, and I will hate it, especially since I'm not going to get a proper rest from it. But I you've probably made the right choice.
Sorry. I know what you're like when you haven't had enough sleep. It's not
Yeah.
going to be fun for any of us.
About an hour after you've sort of made this revelation, you see there's like you've noticed like ebbs and flows in like the intent of this celebration. Now we're celebrating this, now we're celebrating that, and now we're doing this, now we're doing that. You see the crowd kind of actually goes a little quiet, and that actually catches your attention a bit as behind the elder you see two Kuatoa figures step up onto the large scaffolding with the elder, and like a hush kind of falls over the rest of the crowd as you recognize these two Kuatoa
You have got to be
from
shitting me.
up north, from Britain's Dredge. And as you're watching and the realization kind of settles over you, the elder kind of and does like this deep titled bowing motion and steps away. And the two Kuatoa step forward and in their Kuatoa burbling language. And they say something, and immediately you can hear that something is like echoed and reverberated throughout the crowd. Like people are just happy at hearing whatever this word is. And they as they talk and seem to share some sort of information with the rest of the crowd of people. And after talking for 2 or 3 minutes, they and the crowd just completely loses it. They just flip their shit. If previously it was like if previously it was a 10, they crank it up to 11. They just absolutely go hog wild. Clothes become optional. It is a mess. It is a full on disaster.
Burrows is right. Something kinky is going to happen.
Yeah, they toss more and more things into the bonfire. At this point, people start forming like a loose line with sort of bowls, and they go up to the stew and they take a scoop out of the stew, take a drink, and then throw the rest of it into the fire. And then the next one comes up and takes a scoop, takes a drink, and throws the rest into the fire. And it just like cycles through the crowd like this for a really, really long time. And finally, after a majority of the crowd has like cycled through up on this, the bonfire is starting to burn down low a little bit. You realize you've probably gone over your duration for your 4-hour watch a little bit, just watching this ceremony.
I'm gonna go wake up Ori.
Why?
Oh, I know. Just look, they're trying to do something, and Koatoa from Britain's Dredge are here, and I just figured on the off chance they actually manage to do or summon something, you'll kind of recognize it sooner than Natalie. Plus, like, look at her, she needs the sleep, the poor thing. She looks dreadful.
I don't recognize her looking any worse than she usually looks. Which might sound harsher than it should because I'm very fucking tired. Those Kuatoa probably remember the entire time loop. They probably remember being cooked in the
Yeah, I considered
tunnels
that.
like
They've
20 times.
just told an entire village full of basically cult members that everything we just experienced. I don't know how well this is going to go.
Well, we were nice to them in every loop.
I think
I
we
think.
gave them tuna. We
Yeah,
didn't kill
couple of
them, did
times.
we actively tried not to kill them, didn't we?
We
Definitely.
tried really hard to stop them jumping in those holes.
Right. Yeah. Trying to think back on whether we did anything actively cruel to them in any of the time loops. I don't think we did.
I think so.
I think the worst is Natalie tried to grab one to prevent him from diving into the tunnels,
Yeah,
and then he was a slippery little fish person and squeezed out.
yeah. And I mean, maybe they'll see that as like an insult or something, that we were trying to stop them from getting to their god, but we didn't succeed.
They also didn't get to their god that time because they slipped out of Natalie's hands and then got cooked.
Got
So-
cooked immediately. Yeah. Yeah, just look. Natalie we'll see if she can do a double watch or something at some point. I'm sure she'll be fine with that.
Tie me onto my horse as we ride, and I'll have a sleep.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Didn't recognize
Cool.
any names, anything that sounded like anything at all.
It literally all sounds the same to me.
Okay. Cool. And I'll take back the spot by the door top again. And I guess, I don't know, keep watch in a more, do I recognize any of these rituals way? Rather than do I think these fish are going to eat me like I was last time?
Yeah. Do you want to make a check for that?
Yes. What would it Arcana, I suppose? Or religion?
You tell me.
Well, they're both the same modifier, so it doesn't really matter. But let's see what that is. Oh, okay. 15. They're both only +1.
For religion or arcana?
Probably religion, because religion would be
Okay.
more like a culty thing, and Arcana would be more like what magical thing they're actually doing.
Yeah. So religion-wise, this you watch for a little bit with like a deliberate purpose, whereas previously you would like occasionally look out and be like, these fucking fish people, I just want to sleep. Now you're like looking out of the door and being like, these fucking fish people, what are they up to? Like with a renewed interest, and there is a pattern, there is a method. You recognize that it is a deliberate celebration. The fire is central to it, and you you see that though most of the like stew has been um, consumed, every now and again like a new fishing boat will come in and you'll see stragglers like join the celebration, go up onto this scaffolding, take a scoop of the soup, take like a single taste of it, and then toss the rest of it into the fire. Like very clearly, this fire is central to the ceremony. Um, they are, if you had to say, they are giving their share to the fire.
Okay.
Um, you also see that shortly before dawn, towards the end of your watch, um, three three barrels and two crates are brought over, and there appears to be a little bit of uh like there's almost like this energy of like, they're not going to do that, are they? Surely not. And then the elder, who's still just been like going hard this whole night, is like, and they roll these three barrels and two crates into the fire, and it roars up with renewed energy and sort of reignites. And one of the barrels, after a couple of moments, just fully explodes. Natalie and Emmy, the two of you are woken up by this barrel exploding. Um, just by like this full-on thunderous explosion as you watch this barrel, or you watch this barrel get rolled into the bonfire. Um, yeah, and the rest of it immediately catches fire. From the crates, you can see what looks to be dried jerky and fish. One of the barrels, the one that exploded, very clearly contained oil, and the other two barrels appeared to be a very large stock of like crab meat and fish meat, but like cured and prepared. Like effort went in to acquire this fish, prepare the meat, and then put it in a barrel and seal it off. Um, like very clearly, this had a purpose behind it. Um, Yeah, but Natalie and Emmy, just before dawn, you are woken up by this explosion as well, and you can see at the entrance to the small building is Ori.
Fuck's sake!
They threw a barrel in.
Of course
They're
they
definitely
did.
doing something.
Are they
you think
just
this is like a-
trying to blow themselves up? What's the go here?
If I like peek my head back out the door, did anybody die? Or did they seem
No.
to know that this was going to explode?
They knew it was going to explode. Looking around the village, most of the lights are like oil-based lamps. So very clearly, there's an understanding of like oil makes fire. Several Kuatoa are like dazed, like holding onto their ears, but after the explosion and after everything else was tossed into the fire, they blew the roof off earlier after the two Kuatoa from Rin's Dredge talked. But after throwing this into the fire, it's just like all bets are off. Kuatoa start going over towards some of the buildings, not the one that you are in, and literally start prying driftwood off of the walls to throw into the bonfire. They start going over to like tarps and throwing tarps into the bonfire. It is fully celebration mode. You see about 50 feet away over at the shore of the lake, some of the Kuatoa are like trying to pull a boat up from the water towards the fire, and it's still like wet. And some of the Kuatoa are like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And these other Kuatoa are like, "Fuck yeah, burn it!" It's just full on like this is an event that you're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's becoming clearer and clearer. This is not like a nightly occurrence where this is like we're here in festival season. What if like I don't think we're gonna get any more sleep? How about we
Yeah.
just head off?
Try and sneak out.
Yeah.
Whereabouts did we leave, like, our horses? Is it going to be possible for us to, like, try and make a sneaky exit, or do we have to go from
I would
building to
say
building?
there is a post on the side of the building that your horses have been hitched up to. Um, Now that you think about it, your horses probably haven't fared too well over the course of the night with this festival going on
Yeah, I hadn't thought
Yeah.
of them until right
and
then.
the explosion as well.
They're either freaking out or they're dead already.
Just grab them if they're around. This was a terrible decision.
So
I'm
we're
sorry.
leaving, we're going.
We should
I think we
probably
should
leave. Like, I don't feel like they're gonna try and eat us or anything. That was what I was worried about in the beginning. I'm just don't see any point in staying.
Doesn't
We're
seem
not
like there's
going to
much.
sleep through this.
So
Definitely not.
from what you have heard, this is the end point for the barge.
Oh,
Oh. Oh. So we
I
would
thought it
have
was
to
this
come back
town,
here.
another one. Right, okay.
This
Oh
this is the
god.
last town until you get to the north-south road to Valetaire.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay,
mean,
so maybe not leaving. Maybe just giving up on sleeping.
perhaps we should at least try to get the horses away a little. Like, what if we set up camp somewhere else?
Surely we can just leave, go somewhere further away that's still close enough for the barge. I don't know.
Mm.
You there are natural hills nearby, So you could get a pretty good view of the lake. The actual lake it has like different inlets and peninsulas, but there are enough hills nearby where you could get a pretty clear view of any uh, shipping or sailing barge that would come into this village.
Maybe that's our option. Find somewhere with a vantage point, try get some extra sleep, have a bit more of a nap, and go from there.
Yeah.
See if our horses are fine first.
Yeah. Can we hear the horses? Like, are they freaking
Yeah,
out?
they're still nickering and whinnying. They're making noise. They are awake and they're not happy about it.
Poor babies.
But it seems as though the Kuatoa, even in their fervor, have not been like, let's burn the visitors. Like they've been like,
Yeah.
no, we're not gonna fuck with people that are twice our size with weapons that big.
Or maybe they're just like nice people who don't want to burn the visitors.
Yeah, maybe that's a thing. What you said.
You make it sound so unlikely.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. They can
And
do
so
silly things without us.
bleary-eyed from lack of sleep and rattled by this insane festival that's going on. You collect your horses, which are fine. They are unhurt and uninjured, just shaken. You manage to calm them. Duck, meanwhile, is fully like unconscious. Like he is out. Um, you like
He
scoop
had a
him
big
up.
day.
You scoop him up and he's doing the full like head under the wing thing, and he kind of like nuzzles in just to make sure that he's nice and comfy as you head out with him. Do you take his knife?
I mean, yeah, I feel like wouldn't have been sleeping with it in his mouth, and he'll be real mad at me if I don't bring it with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And you head out of town towards the vantage point. And by the time you make it up this hill and start to set up a camp with a view of the town and the lake nearby, the sun just starts to creep up over the horizon as the sky slowly begins to light up to purple and blue and slowly it's like that pre-dawn light of like I was just gonna go to sleep. Fuck. And now the sun is like just starting to come up. Um, and you watch the carnage in this town continue. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end today's session as dawn rises over Glubdulugat.
Wonderful.
And we'll pick up there next time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And at least we didn't get eaten.
Correct.
this time.
Yeah. That was a nice, pleasant surprise.
There's always next session.
True.
Always nice to meet up with the old favorites.
Mm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is D. I've been the Dungeon Master. You can find all of my links and information in the doobly-doo below. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sign off for the rest of the evening when we hear from our players and see what they're up to and where we can hear more about them, including Burrow's magnificent new hair.
Yeah, my hair. It doesn't feel like my hair. I don't think it will for a while. Maybe once it actually starts fading out, and then I'll be like, yes, my hair. Or it starts growing in. Maybe that'll also help me remind myself that it's my hair.
If your skin and your forehead start to turn red, then if it's like growing in, I think you've got bigger
Well, I mean, technically it is kind of dyed at the moment because that's just what hair dye does. But like I scratched my ear and my finger came back and I was like, that's completely red. I'm like, ah, yes, red hair.
Hair dye. Was that literally today, or when was that?
Yesterday I got my hair dyed.
Wow.
Mm.
Whole day.
It'll probably feel a little bit better and like more normal once it's not curly as well.
True.
Because you don't usually
yeah.
have like
Mhm.
the
curly
V shape.
Very straight.
Do look so good though, and with like
They
the
do.
blue lights and the jacket and stuff, like it is such a look right now.
Mhm.
I know. It's really making me want to get an actual permanent septum ring. I really shouldn't
Yes.
though, but I have
Oh,
a
you
fake
really
one that I
should.
wear a lot for stream, so I'll just start pulling that out every now and then.
Mhm.
Such a badass. Natalie has a septum ring, right? That's like canon in the art. She's got like a septum tusk. Is that a thing? I
I
swear
don't
that's a
think
thing.
so,
Hang
but it
on.
should be a
I'm
thing.
waiting for it to roll around. I thought she had a septum
Yeah,
tusk.
I can't remember now. Oh, of course it's Eminence next.
I
mean,
she
Eminence
always pops up when you
has
don't want to see her.
loads of jewelry.
I know. And
No, I
now she's got
don't,
that
but
dangly thing that she wears between her horns. Oh, you don't.
I should have one though.
I think I just
Right,
give
really
every
thought about
character that I'm attracted to a septum ring in my brain.
I feel that. It's just a signature of being hot, really, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
also, I have heard that Mel wants to get one too. So, shall we?
Septum date.
What?
Septum date.
Yeah.
No. I've ordered a bunch of like fake ones so I can be like, do I just like the idea of this or do I like the way it looks on my face? But also I hate healing cartilage piercings so
Yeah.
much.
Technically, I
hate it so
don't
much.
I don't know if it's actually
I love the
cartilage though, if they
cartilage,
do
isn't
it
it?
correctly. It's
Still
just
gotta go through
skin
like
if they get the right spot.
it's still gotta go through
don't
soft
step
cartilage, I
on-
think.
Mm.
Because there's like the cartilage, and then there's like just beneath, if you like pull your nose down a little
Mhm.
bit.
And pinch it.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
I
I
guess
don't
like
know.
if you pinch, you can kind of feel it.
I
Maybe
got
I have
Noses are
spent
weird.
a little bit too much time with my fingers like just in my nose trying to figure out if I have like the right anatomy for it because I know that not everybody does.
Oh,
Really?
don't say
And
that.
I'm not sure I do.
What if
And
I
now
end
there's
up
gonna be a
not
screenshot of the four of us just going like,
Everybody just stick your fingers
yeah.
in the little front part of your nose.
Fun story. I got a septum piercing a while back. It was maybe a year ago now. I went out drinking with some coworkers, and it was about 3 a.m. on the only street that you can get that done at 3 a.m. in Adelaide. And it was really crooked, and I took it out a couple of days later.
Oof.
Third bot tonight.
It was good. It was good fun while I had it.
yes.
Yeah.
Got that out of my system.
Not everyone's septum has a columella, which is the tiny thin strip of fleshy tissue that sits in front of the cartilage. Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah,
I think I do.
it really
I know
all
that.
feels like cartilage to me. So
Mm.
I might not actually be able to have it done, but I'm gonna have a fake one. So I can be fake hot. I think is what we're at this is what we're doing. Sorry, I'm just
That's the
reporting.
dream.
Being fake hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
but-
exist on the internet is the important thing. Mel. Oh,
Yes,
wait, no.
going back around.
Nicole / Eminence is next.
Okay.
Cool. I have been Nicole. I don't exist on the internet, but as usual, dox me bitches. That's usually all I have to say, except that Duck is basically giving me more joy than anything else in my life right now. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for the collaborative effort on creating Duck.
He's so cute.
I love him. That's all.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna need to do research into ducks.
Yeah, the article that you posted was like, ducks shouldn't have bread or crackers, and I was like, damn, I was gonna suggest that we get like goldfish shaped crackers
Yeah.
for duck.
Whole
Then
grains.
again, he is a fantasy duck, so maybe crackers wouldn't
It's
be that
fantasy duck.
bad.
He could be carnivorous for all we care.
Oh, I think if he could be, he would be. It's
as, as
maybe a good thing
Balrog.
we didn't investigate that goblin earlier, like too hard. But maybe
Or
he is
just
carnivorous.
bite marks out of the goblin. Oh
Have you
no,
seen?
duck,
Is
no.
it duck teeth or goose teeth that are really fucking terrifying? I think it's
I
goose
think it's
teeth
goose teeth.
because they have these
Yeah.
like fucking little spiky bits.
Yeah.
I hope
They
everybody
bring
is
their tongue up as
enjoying
well.
our tangent.
This is what it sounds like before the stream
Yeah.
starts, just so that you know.
Yeah.
For like
This
a
is the
solid
kind of
45 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, this is why we start the call like an hour before the stream starts,
Yeah,
because it's
and
just
yeah,
this.
Yeah, we're still late all the time.
Goose
Anyway.
teeth is terrifying. They have teeth on their tongues.
No.
Kind of like cats. Like they got the grippy tongue.
Yeah.
Gross. Scary.
But only on the
Don't
sides.
you, Lucas? You go
Sides.
weird tongue.
So it's like a razor? So you can
I'm
kind of
looking at way too many high quality pictures of ducks with teeth, geese
Oh.
with teeth.
The inside of penguins' mouths as well is creepy.
No, I don't want to Google this one.
Have fun with that.
Penguin teeth.
Oh, my outro, fuck. I'm Maleficent. I'm a streamer and a cosplayer, and I am here to teach, look at those faces, people about creepy penguin things. I guess.
hate it.
I'm kind of on like a half hiatus right now because I'm trying to work out employment stuff, and everything is complicated. And I recently had COVID and was really sick, so I'm just not around all that much. But every once in a while, I pop up. Maybe
Why
I
is
should
it
start like tweeting penguin facts or something.
Yeah, please
You do have a
do.
lot of zoo facts.
you-
I think that's really
I
Do
have
you
so
have
many
enough?
facts. I was always one of those kids that just would learn random stuff, and it would just pop out every once in a while, and people would be like, "Why the fuck do you know that? You're 12."
I recently learned that the best way to get rid of groundhogs, if you have groundhogs in your property, is to pee in their burrow holes.
We don't have groundhogs in our country, but I'm never gonna forget that.
Yeah, I
thanks
know.
for
I
that.
just love the idea of groundhogs being like, "Oh man, this is such a nice yard. Oh, who peed in the living room? Who did that?"
Oh god, on about the same kind of tangent. Apparently, it's real good for citrus trees.
Oh,
Wait,
I
peeing
bought
on
a
them?
citrus tree. I will not be
Yeah.
testing it.
No.
I think you can
Leon
probably
grew
get
up
the
in-
same with like
Leon grew up in a family of boys, and their reasoning why the citrus trees at their parents' house grew so well is because they'd get home from a
When
night
you
out on the
say
town and piss on the lemon tree.
when you say apparently it's good for citrus trees,
It's not
what
like
you're
a
really
fact.
saying is my husband's
know.
family
I don't know.
Jesus.
That's
piss
what
on
the
their
entire
citrus tree and it didn't
It's
die.
not just the family. It's like, well, it's the
How-
family and all the family friends. So they
How-
all have very successful citrus trees and this weird theory. I've never
Oh,
Googled
they-
it. I
they
don't
have their own
Google
trees.
this thing.
for citrus
Okay,
trees.
no, but like I know that a lot of plants love nitrogen. Do a lot of plants love ammonia?
No.
that expression.
Human urine can be
ammonia?
used for citrus trees to help
plus
as a
citrus.
fertilizer, but also replenish the soil.
Vindication.
Yeah, you
Human
can literally
urine
buy.
has high levels of nitrogen, which many plants need to grow.
Wow.
You can
The
literally
more you
buy
know.
ammonia to pour on your lemon tree, and it's the color of piss.
Why
So
buy
really,
it
they're
when
just
you can
cutting out the
make it?
middleman.
The fuck is happening?
So sorry. Like I said, full of
I
weird
love-
facts. That's just
I love
me.
the mental image of like your husband and his family and their family friends going out and drinking regularly enough to come home and regularly urinate on this tree. And I see it as like one tree, one bountiful orange tree.
There is
It's just
also
like glowing like the tree in the Garden of Eden.
There is a discussion forum that says to pee or not to pee, which specifically says that urine by itself is too strong and will burn the citrus tree, but you can use
Oh,
it.
do
You
you
just
need
have
to
to
dilute
dilute it.
Oh my god!
We're doing
But also
drinking
don't
so
pee on it if you
much.
have a bacterial infection.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Well, it says
Oh,
bladder infection, but
God.
I'm guessing bacterial also counts. It just was the same B
don't
word.
want to give your lemon tree a
Sunday.
yeast infection.
Oh god, my head hurts from laughing.
Anyway, tune in next week for the
Yeah.
Chocolatiers gardening
Or
show.
fact.
Oh my god.
Here's how to
but
deal with gophers, and here's how to deal with your lemon tree.
in a
Groundhog.
Next week.
in a
Oh,
last
Groundhog's
comment
Hungry.
on
Groundhogs.
this, it also
Oh,
says
no.
if your lemon tree is very sick, pea can be used as a really great like pick me up.
Just
So
a
there
nice
you
little,
go.
like us having a barocca.
Yep.
A circle of life.
Similar coloring.
Anyway, I have somewhere we can
Okay.
go.
Yeah, sweet. Let's let somebody else entertain Twitch.
Yep. Anyway, thank you for being
Whatever
here.
this was.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to our podcast.
Wait, did you
Comedy.
outro yourself?
Yeah, I'm D. My LinkedIn info is in the
doobly-doo.
doobly-doo. I
Okay.
play Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
So we're going to go see Hero Zone, who are painting some minis. It looks like it's some kind of like, what's the term I'm looking for here? Oh wait, no, actually, there's two people painting. What? One looks like a mushroom house. The other looks like some kind of like Gundam thing. Seems cool. But we're gonna go say hello. Send lots of ducks. I think ducks are good for today.
We've got ducks.
Ducks
Send
sound
ducks.
good.
Send battle ducks.
I guess just keep in mind.
Hopefully, battle ducks by next week.
Give your ducks knives and pee on your lemon trees is the takeaway from today.
We should just make a podcast.
Should. We have so much fascinating information to
Random
share with you
stuff.
all. Yeah.
I
Half
like
of it is true.
Half of it is bullshit. Also, I worked
Yeah.
out halfway through that the dice thing is a lie, because
What?
it works for some of them,
Don't
but
say
not all of
before.
them. So 6 plus 3 is 9, which works. 2 plus 7, also 9, which works. But then it's 5 plus 4. Wait, that's 11. Yes, that's 11. Wait, no, that's 9.
That's 9.
No, it's my math.
9.
Wait, did I reprove myself? How the fuck? Ah!
I love how in your crisis you were like, no, I am wrong. And here's the proof. And now you're going through the proof and you're like, shit, I've just proven myself right.
It doesn't work with a D10. It doesn't work with a D10.
Yeah, I'm looking at a D10 and my D10 seems not to work.
D10 doesn't work, but a D8 does work. Apparently.
2,
Hey,
3,
we're nearly out, but bye guys. We're just gonna continue
We're
downing our dice. I
9 and
guess.
0. 1 and 8. It works with
Let's do it.
the